Y'all don't hear us. Pull up a seat and motherfucking listen. Pull up a seat and motherfucking listen.
Hey, pack your bag, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our grind, we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to Black America, so leave. Hey,
y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect and just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect and just fly on.
You landed on the tarmac, fresh off the boat, talking about y'all building nothing, man, you choking on the note. My ancestors the reason that this country even breathes. Picked the cotton, built the White House, planted the seed. Jim Crow laws, redlined the map, we was the target. You think that struggle's a costume, man, you can't mark it. We fought the wars, we bled the blood, we died for our future's chance. And you come here and give our legacy a side eye while throwing shade on the guard. While you benefit from doors we kicked down with our last breath. Now you spit on the architects who stared down death. Disrespectful, that's disrespectful, ungrateful, a slap in the face to only people who gave a fuck. So let me show your ungrateful ass to the right place.
Pack your bags, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our ground and we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect, just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect, just fly on.
Passport, the visa, the privilege to be here. Cause my grandma did march for y'all, so disappear from our land. You cosplaying our pain. Think it's a trend you can borrow, but you ain't inherit the ghosts of our sorrow. We the foundation, the bedrock, the soil, and the root. You not no branch on our tree, and unproductive people always cosplaying me.
Talking about we ain't do nothing, you lost your mind. We built this from nothing, time after time.
From the beginning to now, we been the backbone and muscle. Why you look down on the struggle and cause a whole tussle? The energy style was disgusting, it's whack.
So let's make it clear, there's no turning back.
This land is paid for in full.
In blood, sweat, and tears, and dreams deferred.
You don't get to come into a house we built from the dirt and telling Black America y'all ain't worth nothing. That's a violation. Facts.
Pack your bags, time to go home.
It's our soil on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
Show respect, this our ground. Y'all just tenants on a leash.
Or get the step.
Show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, taking your business, I can just fly on.
Don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, taking your business, I can just fly on.
Yeah, fly little birdies.
Fly on back to where you came from.
This ain't for you. This still is sacred.
We said what we said.
It's time
for y'all to go home. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Fly far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Far away from here. Bye bye little birds.
We forgot, but we never forget.
know the rules. We built this land from dust and tears for 100 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, no disguise. The spirits woke, we realize all we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that fight. This is our day, this is our right. We happy. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been here all along. Foundational Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built that all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, to fight the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their news. They take our sound, but not our scars. We the backbone, we the scars. Now the veil is gone, the mask is clear. We see the game, we know it's here. No more silence, no more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up, rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our veins are power, our roots are trees. We know worlds. It's rhythm and grace, shows, and now we're here reclaiming our rightful place. Can't copy courage, can't steal pain. You can't inherit soul by changing names. Our story ain't done, it's the revival. We guard the gate, it's about survival. We FBA, say it proud, say it loud. The world dances on what we vow. Foundational Black Americans, still we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free. Foundational Black Americans. We the first, we the root, we the fire. Still rising, still here. Foundational Black American.
We set the tone and they copy the cadence. Dance to our drums and deny the foundation. Wear the style but don't honor the source. Smile in the crowd and you distance and force. Say you not us but you rap like we breathe. Take the rhythm, then fuse the receipts. I ain't mad, I'm just holding the glass. Showing the mirror, now answer it back. I ain't here to cancel nobody. Just keep it honest, keep it solid. If you eat from the table we built, don't act surprised when we guard it. Do you like that? Do you like that? When I flip your sound and I ride like that. Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Cause that's how it feel when you borrow my culture. Then act like we never mattered. Hip-hop.
Mike Larry. Now this shit here is what's needed. We're not fighting your battles. We're not carrying your fear. We're not lending our history to people who erased us while we were here. Just cause you're born here, don't make you FBA. That makes you a citizen, learn the difference today. This is lineage, not a look you can wear. Not a costume you borrow when it benefits you there. You used our culture like an access card, backstage pass, a straight facade, but now the mirror's in your face. No disguise, and you're uncomfortable looking truth in the eyes. We didn't leave our land to beg for a chance. We stayed, we fought, we took. That's the separation, that's the line you cross. We paid the price, you learned the cost. You waving your flag on our soil, but fighting not to go back home. Waving your flag on our soil, building comfort on a foundation you didn't know. We waving our flag, red, black, and gold. Stood our ground, never sold. You waving your flag on our soil, but scared to build what you claim you love. Our humor, our style, the way we move, the smoothness, the sound, the things we prove. Music we birth, language we shape, innovation forged under constant escape. Warrior spirit means stay and defend, not flee your land and rewrite the end. You call it success, but don't confuse the two. Ease came after what we went through. You abandoned your land and called it strategy. You waved that flag loud, but won't return to build your legacy. That contradiction tells the story for you. You waving your flag on our soil, we're fighting not to go back home. We waving ours where we were forged, every inch earned, every brick known. We can't be deported, and that changes everything. We can't be deported, and changes everything. We know who we are, and now we see who you are too. Just because y'all born here doesn't make you FBA at all. It makes you an American citizen. It's biologically impossible to be us because it's a lineage, not some damn costume you can just put on to look cool. You immigrants and immigrant Americans has used our culture as an access card, a backstage pass to our culture. Now y'all have to look in the mirror. Our sense of humor, the aesthetics, mannerisms, the style of dress, the smoothness, the creativity, our genres of music, innovativeness, our slang, our warrior spirit by staying on our homeland and fighting and not fleeing to somebody else's land to beg for a better life and shit on the very people who fought to have us there. That's who we are. And we know who the hell y'all are waving your flag on our soil and fighting to make sure y'all go back.
You can't leech off our culture anymore. Beat it!
Mike Larry, man, you did it again. We really making history. Let's go.
Do you like that? Do you like that?
Flip your sound, how you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Say it loud, don't walk it back. Do you like that?
Do you like that?
You grew up mimicking us, now y'all switch it up. Turn the carbon copy, y'all ain't black the fuck. It's funny y'all connecting to our culture like it's surfing on our waves of our culture, no more agua. Killing my culture for all these years. Look how time flies, all these colonizers in disguise. Y'all hate, y'all still hate us outside. Study doctor, vampires, the blood of our guilt. They copy the flavor, sip the juice, love the results, hate the truth. Who? Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Flip your sound, how you like that? Do you like that? Democratic shields, talking points, the road they fill. Fish and chips, agent on the mic, judging FBAs, but ain't you half white? Talking like you one of us, we need a proof face. The agent type, the prune face, like 50 and Jim. It's a cold game, throwing stones cause we built our own lane. I'm joking, kinda, but I mean, smile calm, pressure intact. Y'all proud, y'all from. beat they drums. But when it's us, tone switch fast. Same pride, but it's too much. FBA pride, lineage solid. You can't put this on, can't try it on. Built here, stayed and fought. That's the difference. That's the car. Do you like that? Do you like that? Say it clear, don't twist the facts. Do you like that? Yeah. Do you like that? Do you like that? Point made. Point made. No edit. No edit. No care. No care.
You know, erasing history is something that you have to do when it comes to conquest, domination, and destroying a people. If people knew who they were, and what they were capable of in the past, they will understand what they have a possibility or a likelihood of doing in the future.
Foundation of Black Americans, we've always had a culture of resistance. We cultivated a culture of resistance on this land, and we've been resisting ever since we've encountered European domination.
But nothing was really popping in Europe until the transatlantic slave trade, and that's where they amassed a lot of wealth.
One thing that I think is unique about our culture as far as how we resist, how we fight back is just the environment we were put in from day one. Being only 13 businesses were very meticulous about keeping that population at a certain amount.
There was never a period when we did not resist the encroachment of the white man.
They have a natural behavior of authority no matter where they go. That's why they'll step up in front of us in the line at the store. We're not important. They don't even see us.
We've never been able to excel. We've never been able to relax. We've never been able to just be, which means that existence is resistance.
It must be something in our DNA, our historical background, to when something doesn't sit right with us, especially spiritually, in our souls and in our spirit, we just say no.
We live resistance. You know, from the moment we're born, we're in resistance. And it's handed down generation to generation.
And so I think that cultural resistance is actually in our DNA, in our epigenetics, and then it blossoms out into the culture.
So there's almost nothing in America that we do, from song to dance to politics to the way we talk, the way we dress, having coded languages considered to be slang today. Everything about Black American culture is a form of resistance.
Of course, they want to always downplay our contributions to the global tapestry because they continue to act like our number one export in this country is not Black innovation.
Everyone understands that our resistance has been the cornerstone of what foundational Black Americans have always done. We are the life that breathes everything into this nation.
The further back you go, the further Black you go. It's just simple like that, brother.
Introducing the B1 Rolodex, the easiest way to search for and support FBA and B1 businesses. Hundreds of entries from the Black grassroots for the Black grassroots. Free to use, free to download, constantly updated. Trouble navigating the document? Try using the map version. Notice a business missing? Use this simple Google form to submit an FBA or B1 business. Also submit anti-Black businesses, which are now being collected in that last tab. Find resources, contact numbers, and much more using the second tab. All the info you need to start practicing group economics today. Go to blacktruthunited.com. That's blacktruthunited.com.
All right, greetings, Black family. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced. I'm Chain Crewman. We're joined with the other host, Shabaka Sankori, Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced. And on this season 11, episode 36, or tray 6 of Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced in conjunction with the Front Line Blacc News, we'll be discussing several topics. The first one is Rudolph, Giuliani in critical condition, upcoming midterm elections, state of affairs for Black people in America, how can we as a people develop and enhance our economic power, and how much has Trump's popularity diminished. And Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced is based on the 50th anniversary of the founding of the original Blacc Panther Party for self-defense. We started on Blogtalk Radio back in 2016 and have been around for 11 seasons now. Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced covers the Black experience from the beginning of time until 10 minutes ago. It is also a part of the Frontline campaign and has recently, within the last 2 to 3 years, moved from Blogtalk Radio to Streamyard. Please make sure y'all like and share the broadcast, family. Please join us on Streamyard, YouTube, Frontline Blacc News. The links to all of our channels are in the description, including Frontline Blacc News, Frontline Blacc News 2, our backup channel. Make sure y'all sub to that, just in case they try to take Frontline Blacc News down again. My personal page, Jesse Parrish, aka Chan Kruma. That's where we stream all the city council meetings and local Black events in Denver and Aurora. Then we got Lady Chase backup channel, Seduction Doll. Make sure y'all sub to that, so Lady Chase can start going live on that channel. Then we got her main channel, the RBA, the Revolutionary Agenda. Make sure y'all sub to that as well. She should be dropping an RBA sometime this week. She dropped one last week, so make sure y'all check that out. Then we got Shabaka'S YouTube channel, Jeanette 1. Make sure y'all sub to that so Shabaka can start going live again on YouTube. Then we got our cousin or Lokester out the Bay Area, Fairfield to be exact, and San Francisco. Jay Militant, make sure y'all sub to his channel as well. He's been going through it, but we still go support our brother. And then we got our brother Kukizi out the Mile High, who Black Alpha Network just shouted out on his show. Kukizi 5100, make sure y'all sub to his channel as well. Then we got our brother Breeze Omega, who was live earlier. My brother out of VA, Virginia, by way of New York. He just passed 1,000 subscribers, so salute to Breeze. Hopefully he'll be joining us this evening. Then we got the Church of Black Power, our brother out of Watts, California, who's now in Houston, Texas. He just surpassed 3,000 subscribers, so salute to Church of Black Power. He always shows us love, so I show him a little back. Then we got Torian Rain Reloaded, our brother who came up, who actually put Lisa Cabrera on and has been around for a number of years. And he's always showing us love as well. So make sure y'all sub to Torian Rain Reloaded. Let's get him to 80,000 subscribers. Then we got Black Truth United, our brother. He's been on hiatus, but he did come up with the B1 Rolodex, which is a modern day green book for FBA and B1 businesses. And I just played the ad for it, so make sure y'all check that out. The link to submit your business to the Rolodex is in the description, and the link to the Rolodex itself is in the description. Then we got Council the Congressional Black Caucus and create a foundational Black American Caucus. The petition link for that is also in the description. Then we got Sister Brooks Call to Action in New York. Make sure y'all submit those letters so they can get that Freedmen's Bureau off the ground in New York State. And the links to that is in the description. Then we got Support Lady Chase GoFundMe. The link to that is also in the description. Donate to that if you haven't already. Then we got the 103-year-old elders GoFundMe, who's on the verge of losing her home of almost 40 years in South Central Los Angeles, or South Los Angeles now. And the link to her GoFundMe is also in the description. Then we got myself. As you can see from the background, I am on the ballot for Colorado State House of Representatives for the House District 8. And the link to my website is in the description as well. And you can donate directly on the website. Then we got copyright disclaimer in Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. And I do not own the rights to the music. And if you don't understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else you think you understand will only confuse you in all 9 areas of human or people activity, and that is economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war, and some say health and nutrition, in all 9 or 10 areas of human or people activity. And that was by the late, great Mr. Neely Fuller Jr., who transitioned exactly a year ago, a little over a year ago now, at the age of 95. Produced Justice.com. And when you a black person or captured by any race, soldier, you must never fuss, fight, or flee. Comply and defend yourself in court. Also by Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. Produced Justice.com. And last but certainly not least, we got Racism, White Supremacy. It's conscious and subconscious behavior to maintain white genetic survival, to prevent white genetic annihilation. And that was by the late, great master teacher, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, who kicked open the door for Black psychology and transitioned exactly 10 years ago at the age of 80 and would have been 90 as of about a month ago. And shout out to our FBA brother out of Los Angeles, Tariq Nasheed, for paying for her funeral, along with several others. So those are the topics. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Shout out to Claude, then XDan for tapping in. Shout out to CowDog for tapping in. And anybody that's going to be joining us this evening, and that's peeking and not speaking. All right, Shabaka. So the first topic, first of all, greetings, Shabaka, from the Mile High Income and cold and snowy city.
And y'all can have that snow and cold. We need all your snow. We need your water out here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a pleasant 73 degrees. You know what I'm saying? And then also, too, going off right off into it, ladies and gentlemen, this individual who I'm about to talk about is lower than shit in the toilet. Okay, this here was Dump's personal lawyer, Rudolph Giuliani, who was America's mayor when 9/11 went down. As you do know that he was disbarred, so therefore he did not even...
Not America's mayor, Shabaka, New York mayor. New York City's mayor.
He was New York. He was New York City's mayor. And then they propped this guy up, you know, when the 9/11 incident went down in 2001. So then old Giuliani, you know, they find out that he had some dirt up under his fingernails, you know what I'm saying? He tried to disrespect two sisters there in New York who sued the shit out of his ass. Okay, he's hospitalized in critical condition. God does not like ugly, you know what I mean? And I hate to have to say that about him. But however, keep in mind that he was the mayor of when a man got killed for the cigarettes, selling the Lucy's. Yeah, Eric Gardner, you know what I mean? And then they went out there and choked that man. And then, okay, then these damn Nabiscos is coming across the internet talking about making a joke out of, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And then shortly after that, if memory serves me correct, I think 2 NYPD officers were ambushed. And then the cold part about it is that they had one of Mr. Gardner's relatives come out there and speak publicly, say that they didn't deserve this. I mean, my God, Black family. Okay, the hypocrisy, the bullshit, the lunacy, the idiocy, you know, that's what's coming out here with this fervor. You see what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous. So I get hate mail, you know, they sit up there, tell me I'm a black racist and all this old type of shit. And then I go up here and ask these bastards, okay, what militaries do I control besides none? Which police agencies do I control besides none? And then what major technological firms that I control besides none? Also, 2, spread the word, turn off that damn California governor debate, fuck it and come get with us. Screw some Newsom, hope you lose. You belong in jail too. Let California shake off into the water. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, is that, as you know, that when we sit up here and make these comments, you know, they call us racist and we get hate mail. And I've had Nabiscos coming up there with idiocy on the Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced Like page. Now, they changed the rules of the like page a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. They open to anybody, unfortunately, because you used to be able to pick and choose who you want on your like page. You see what I mean? Okay, so you know, I'm getting the Nabiscos up in there, dumpsters, you know what I'm saying? A couple of them says that Trump, you know what I mean, you know, he's a crook and all that. And I says, well, why do you think we refer to him as a dump, as in human shit? And we want to make that perfectly clear. Then there's another brother up there who has his own like page, okay, and I reached out to that brother, and he goes around there putting up the flags that says "fuck Trump" and "fuck you for voting for him," which I, agree wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? So the Nabiscos try to get his brother a bad time, so I'm reaching out to him. Hopefully he can come up here and get up here with us. Okay, all trolls, okay, you got to come on camera tonight. You don't come on camera, we're just going to bop you upside the head with the wrench. You see what I mean? Because a lot of you good bastards need to get a life. Is because if that's all you want to do is come on here on this internet, man, and make stupid ass comments and shit like that, then you're in need of resurrection of the mental dead. Now, in addition to with Giuliani being sick and in a critical condition, okay, I halfway want to say condolences to his family, but the shit that he participated in, this is God's karma catching up with him. You see what I mean? And then I mentioned of how he got disbarred, for fraudulently pulling these sisters' real estate property from him there in New York. Then also to what they're trying to do to the Attorney General in New York State, Letitia James, and
to hell with Letitia James, Shabaka. You know, like she was standing up for people or something. That broad is bad.
Standing for who?
I said you act like she was standing up for black people or something. The hell with Letitia James.
Oh, okay. All right, let me make a note. To hell with Letitia James. Okay, Letitia James, I've just been corrected by the co-executive producer. You ain't shit, lady. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just wondering how many. Oh, yeah, Brother Che. You just remind me of something of where they beat that brother to death, man, in the New York City jail, man, and she didn't do shit about it.
She didn't do nothing about that. She didn't do nothing about Jordan Neely getting killed.
Facts.
Okay. She didn't do nothing. To hell with Letitia James.
Okay. I stand corrected. It's all good. So to hell with her. You know what I'm saying? And then not to mention the fact, too, is that old cop Mala is coming up here, wanting us to endorse her. She didn't do shit for black people out here in the West, as we constantly put up there. Oh, I'm not going to do nothing just for black people now. And then talking about she's fixing greens in a bathtub. Come on now. You see what I'm saying? So she totally lost it. We're turning our back on her as well, too. And then the cold part about it is, ladies and gentlemen, every damn election cycle, like we're getting ready to go with these midterms, right? They always bum rushing us first. You see what I'm saying? Acting like we stupid. So they need to vote out all the bastards in the House of Representatives. You know what I'm saying?
They need to have them damn illegals vote for them. Oh, that's right. Illegals can't vote. Oh, well, how the Q come out for you? Oh, they don't have numbers to sway anything. Oh, have the DACA recipients come out for you. Oh, yeah, again, they can't vote.
Right.
Have the humpback whales, the purple people eaters come out for you. Oh, they don't even exist, or they can't vote at all. So you're Democrats. You're gonna need the black, and we sitting on the couch. If you're not,
very much so. Couch looks mighty comfortable to me, is because, like I said, for 60 years that I know, we went out there and supported you bastards, and the only thing you did, was used against us. You see what I'm saying? You were the devil in the blue dress. You see what I mean? You sit up there and want to enjoy your lavish lifestyles and what have you. Want to go rub elbows with them and things of that nature right there. But look how they treating you. You see what I'm saying? And Maxine Waters, you did well as best as you could with what you had to work with. Sister, go on and retire. Don't run for re-election, Maxine. You're in your 90s, okay? Go enjoy, the remainder of your life. You say,
but need to sit it down. Clyburn, and you need to sit it down too.
Yeah, Clyburn, Warden.
He's down with the Skittles.
And you catch us.
The sound's fucking up again, Shabbat.
Okay.
Shabaka, you sound like you're underwater again. There's something wrong with your headset or Bluetooth. Well, why are you getting that?
Hold on, let me go get the other headset, brother. Hey, take it.
Okay. While you're getting that together, I'm gonna play this clip on Giuliani. Yeah. So NYC Mayor Rudy Giuliani hospitalized with pneumonia. Great news. Great news. All right, so Fox Live now is gonna give us an update on that.
Fox, I'm your host, Anna Marsick. Our next story takes us out to New York. I'm going to put this post there on your screen, coming from the New York Post, saying ex-New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani remains hospitalized with pneumonia as business partner warns today is an important day. For the very latest on the 81-year-old's condition, we are joined by Fox 5 New York reporter Linda Schmidt. And Linda, what is the newest information that we are learning from his team?
Well, first of all, hello there, Anna. And there was some good news here tonight. His spokesperson sent out a tweet on X. You know, we still say tweet, even though it's X, saying that he has now been taken off that ventilator. Now, he was taken to a hospital in Palm Beach, Florida. That happened yesterday. By the way, that is where Rudy Giuliani lives. And he had been placed on a ventilator, but thankfully now he is off that ventilator and they are continuing to monitor him as a precaution. But, you know, go ahead and take a look at this video here because we have plenty of file footage of Mayor Giuliani, the former mayor here in New York. Now, he became known as America's mayor for his leadership after the 9/11 attacks. And as a result of being down at ground zero, where all of that toxic dust was, and he was down there for weeks and weeks, maybe even months after the terror attacks. Anyway, he suffers from a condition from his exposure to that toxic dust. And his spokesperson issued a statement saying in part, and I think you guys, you've got to look at this right here. We're highlighting part of it here. It says, quote, on September 11th, Mayor Giuliani ran toward the towers to help those in need, which later led to a diagnosis of restrictive airway disease. Now, this condition adds complications to any respiratory illness, and the virus quickly overwhelmed his body. That happened over the weekend. He is now breathing on his own. But last Friday, Giuliani talked about feeling under the weather on his podcast.
This is America's Mayor live from Palm Beach, Florida. And my voice is a little under the weather.
Hi, Joe.
So I won't be able to speak as loudly as I usually do.
There, see, you could actually hear it in his voice there. And then, you know, that news broke yesterday that Giuliani, who was 81 years old, he was taken to the hospital again near Palm Beach, and he was in critical but stable condition. Today, the mayor of New York, Mayor Mamdani, sent well wishes to his predecessor.
Former Mayor Giuliani is someone that we as New Yorkers know well, and he's been a fixture in our city's politics and public life for so many years. And I know that many New Yorkers are concerned by the reports that he's in critical condition. And so we do keep him and his family in our prayers at this time.
And tonight he remains in critical but stable condition. But again, his spokesperson saying there was some very positive improvement today. He was taken off of that ventilator, which was really good news for a lot of people to hear.
All right, Linda, with that update there, of course, our thoughts and well wishes are with him as he recovers.
The hell with him? All right, so I guess his punky ass is out the hospital now. The next clip is about that.
In the day's other headlines, health authorities are investigating a suspected outbreak of hantavirus after 3 people died on a cruise ship in the Atlantic Ocean. The operator of the MV Hondius and the World Health Organization say the victims include a husband and wife from the Netherlands and a German national. 3 others are seriously ill, including a British man who tested positive for the disease. The ship is currently on lockdown off the coast of West Africa with nearly 150 people on board, including 17 Americans. One of those, travel blogger Jake Rosmarine, says passengers are anxious and want answers.
We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people with families, with lives, with people waiting for us at home. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's the hardest part.
The ship asked for assistance today from officials in Cape Verde, but so far no one has been allowed to disembark. Hantavirus is typically carried by rodents and is not easily transferred between humans. The World Health Organization said today that the risk to the wider public remains low. Former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is in stable but critical condition in a Florida hospital as he recovers from pneumonia. His spokesperson, Ted Goodman, wrote on social media today that the 81-year-old was placed on a ventilator, but, quote, he is now breathing on his own with his family and primary medical provider at his side. Goodman says Giuliani's condition was made worse by his exposure to dust and toxins at Ground Zero after the September 11th attacks. Giuliani won worldwide acclaim for his handling of that crisis, but has since been mired in legal and financial troubles. In Oklahoma, authorities are searching for suspects in a mass shooting that left at least 23 people injured. Police say it happened during a party last night near Arcadia Lake. It's a popular swimming and boating spot north of Oklahoma City. A local hospital says 3 of the victims are in critical condition. It's unclear how many of the injured were shot or suffered other injuries. The police say there is no ongoing threat to the public. Investigators from the National Transportation and Safety Board are on scene to interview the flight crew about what led to United Jet clipping a delivery truck and a light pole on its descent into Newark Airport. Harrowing dashcam video from inside the bakery truck showed the moment of yesterday's collision. The truck driver miraculously had only minor injuries. None of the 231 people aboard the plane were hurt. Aviation experts say the passenger jet narrowly avoided a catastrophic crash on the New Jersey Turnpike by mere feet. United says the pilots of the plane have been put on leave while the accident is investigated. In Germany, officials say at least 2 people were killed today when a car plowed through a pedestrian zone in the eastern city of Leipzig. Another 3 people were seriously injured and are being treated in area hospitals. The city's mayor says it's believed to be a deliberate rampage, though authorities are still looking for a motive. Police say the 33-year-old driver is a German citizen who stopped the car himself and didn't resist arrest. Investigators believe he acted alone. The suspect is being held on suspicion of murder and attempted murder. On Wall Street today, stocks eased back from their recent highs amid the latest concerns over rising oil prices. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell more than 550 points, or more than 1%. The Nasdaq slipped nearly 50 points. The S&P 500 also ended the day in the red. And a handful of marquee names in the media landscape are among the latest Pulitzer Prize winners announced this afternoon. The Washington Post won the Public Service Award for its reporting on the Trump administration's changes to federal agencies. The Associated Press won for international reporting for its look into mass surveillance as a tool in China. Reuters was honored for its national coverage of President Trump's use of executive power. In the meantime, the Minnesota Star-Tribune won for its reporting on a local shooting at a Catholic school that killed 2 children and wounded 17. And Julie Brown of the Miami Herald received a special citation for her reporting nearly a decade ago on Jeffrey Epstein. And iconic New York Yankees broadcaster John Sterling has died. Across more than 35 seasons, Sterling called some 5,600 games, including the postseason. That included a streak of more than 5,000 consecutive games. Sterling was known for his theatrical style and his trademark home run calls.
Swung on and hit high in the air to deep right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Bernie goes boom.
He would add a tailored phrase for each hitter, like, it's an A-bomb from A-Rod for Alex Rodriguez, and all rise, here comes the judge for Aaron Judge. Sterling retired in 2024 and underwent heart surgery this past winter. John Sterling was 87 years old. Still to come on the NewsHour, how the collapse of Spirit Airlines is impacting travelers and the wider aviation industry. Why the Trump administration is paying 2 companies nearly $1 billion to abandon plans to build wind farms. And former federal workers speak out about being terminated and why they're now running for office.
All right, Shabaka, what's your thoughts on Giuliani?
Okay, I have 2 words to say about Giuliani. I hate to have to say this, but fuck him. Okay? Yeah. I hate to have to say that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. And then the cold part about it is I do recognize if that was someone related to me, you know, I wouldn't feel that way. And give me a mic check, Brother Che. But there's an old saying, you reap what you sow.
You sound clear on my end. We got Black Joe in the building too. We got Michael.
Okay. Bring them up. So therefore, man, you know, but when we was dying, man, from that Tuskegee experiment, did they give a damn about us? No. When they were experimenting on black women, on female surgeries and what have you, did they get sympathy? No. When they bombed Black Wall Street, did white America give us some sympathy? No. So I hate to say it, Rudolph Giuliani, fuck you.
Right.
You know, and then and Cow Dog says that that every law in New York is calling that brother up. And then I told Cow Dog in the chat, man, they got a motherfucker out here that says Interact need a check. You know what I'm saying? He's your man to call. I tried to call him, Brother Che, when I told you when I called AAA out here to change my tie, and they forgot to tighten the damn bolts, man. And I called old boy up. He said, well, man, you only could have called us on that. So cuss out AAA, which I did. So hopefully then ineptitude individuals got fired. You know what I'm saying? But he would have said if that tire would have came off and you got fucked around, we would have been more than happy to take the case.
Black Michael, anybody want to come up? I'm drop the link.
And so therefore, man, you know, so I'm sitting here at a lunch counter begging for a cup of coffee, but I own the lunch counter, you know what I'm saying? And what have you, you know. So therefore, Giuliani, you reap what you sow, you know what I'm saying? And then you got sued by them two sisters who you tried to slander, and they broke his ass, and I hope they did. You see what I mean? What is it, Black family, about us as people that they hate so bad? Oh, yeah, because they cannot be us. And as Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, not getting off topic, Brother Jay, she was talking about the white man's fetish with the black woman. And then, of course, you know, the white woman's fetish, you know, about the black man. You see what I'm saying? And the only thing I can say, I can't tell nobody who to go with, but brothers, don't go plant your seed in the Nabisco, man.
Right, we got Michael in the building.
Hey, Michael, what's going on,
Hey,
man?
Shabaka. Hey, Jesse. How you guys doing?
Okay, I got your email, man, and I got the sister's name and number noted, man, so I'm going to give her a call tomorrow, man, because I got a little bit behind today. I had to, you know, prepare for the show and what have you. You know, and then as Black Joe says right here, hold that damn boule accountable. That's why white supremacy is on autopilot, which is absolutely correct.
It's out of business, Black Joe. We're putting the boule out of business.
Yeah, shut them down like they did Spirit Airlines. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Boule gatekeepers. I'm going through it with them here in Colorado because they're trying to silence my campaign.
You know, they might be in violation of federal election laws on that, Brother Che. The only thing they could say is not to vote for you because of your policies. They cannot attack you personally.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And then if you got any public records of arrest or anything like that, man, bring it to your campaign. Make it public, because on that notion right there, you just took away, man, you know what I'm saying, their power shot. You just flipped the pitch on it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, and Black Joe said he's got threatened by them as well. Lock and load. Okay. Lock and load, you know what I'm saying? And then what have you. And then keep in mind, Black family, this work that we do right here, it's not easy. It is dangerous, but just like what this sister told me at the 50th anniversary of the Blacc Panther Party, Brother Jay, original member, she says, young brother, are you going to die on your feet or live on your knees and walk her fine ass away?
Yeah.
Looking good in that leather piece, you know? Shout out to the memory of Johnny Cochran.
Yes.
Look at all the pro bono cases that he took in Los Angeles, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
then, Yes,
Yeah,
go
Johnny
ahead, Michael.
Cochran. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No. Go ahead, Michael.
I was gonna say, yeah, Johnny Cochran was a real true fighter for American freedmen, and he knew exactly what American freedmen were owed in terms of reparations. If you were still here today, I think he would have. I think he would have lobbied Congress, and definitely put pressure on President Trump to cut the check for American freedmen
Pressure
outside of slavery.
Oh, he would have put pressure on Sambo and George Bush.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. I wish he was. I wish he was still alive today, Johnny Cochran.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But however, Michael, his firm is still open is because his number 2 man, Carl Douglas, he still has the firm open. And from what I understand is that they still picking up cases in the spirit of Johnny Cochran. You know what I'm saying?
The Johnny Cochran firm ain't the same since Johnny Cochran passed.
Yeah.
Exactly. But his legacy still lives on. Okay. Now Joe says, "Ooh, I'm pointing out the Muslim, Jew, and Scientologists. Oh boy, the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
They up there in Hollywood.
Pulling with them. That's why Jay Miller.
Yeah, that's L. Ron. Yeah, that's L. Ron Hubbard in them. You know what I'm saying? Then and they're going out there to vulnerable people who might be homeless, stuff like that, because you got a lot of homeless people out there in Hollywood. Like the song "The Miracles Made in the '70s" called "Poor Charlotte." You know what I'm saying? And then, not to mention all the sisters, who got, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, who went and made quote unquote those auditions out there in the San Fernando Valley. We discussed that there before. You see what I'm saying? And then I believe Taraji, she's in the process of opening up a production on a new film, and I don't know what it is, but I did see something across the net saying that Taraji's getting ready to get busy again, man. And shout out to Miss Taraji P. Henson, a great actress, particularly in Hidden.
She's a bad one. She's a damn bad one.
Oh man, no.
Yeah.
Well, Taraji, if you bad one, sister, you need to check out Dr. Francis Cress Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
By the way, Jesse and Shabaka, guess what? Phil Scott finally embraces the term American Freedmen Caucus. Finally, Phil Scott.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I think it took him a long time to embrace the lineage term. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know someone who watches Philip Scott said to me that Philip Scott is really about globalism. So I can understand why Philip Scott did not embrace the lineage, earlier.
Yeah.
Well, he's still in goofyism, so he's coming around.
Right. I think it has to. Yeah, I think it has to do with Angela Nirvana waking him up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course,
Hey,
you
Joe,
guys as well too.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, you want to come up, man, and give and elaborate on what you're saying here in the comments, sir?
You talking about Black Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I dropped the link.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man. Yeah, because I like to hear some more about that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Cow Dog says that sister Kia Duggan, she really moving the needle on civil rights. That's why they murdered her. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You see, so what it is, Black, is this. This is why we got to have a damn vanguard in place. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, when they see us, standing up and hey, and y'all can't lay down there and take this shit no more, man. Y'all's time to move is now here in 2026. You see what I'm saying? And then to out there, Latinos in Southern California, you know, Cinco de Mayo to you, although you have been saying a lot of hateful shit about us.
It's Happy Negro Day Mile, Shabaka. They wouldn't have a goddamn thing if it wasn't for us. And that's not even our independence. It's just the Battle of Pueblo.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Over the Battle of Pueblo. Okay. All righty. Okay. 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 Joe was saying he's sitting down having dinner. Okay, Joe, if you're still on, man, you know, let you finish because we got a long night tonight, man. Join us when you can. Okay, let's see. Starting around now, this is Joe. He's stating that starting around 2010, the NOI had become certified auditors and thousands more were studying Scientology principle. Oh, man.
That's why Cuzzo don't fuck with them no more.
Okay.
They don't make the NOI for that reason.
Okay. 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 And then Michael is saying here in the practice that Marcel for Congress, absolutely not. She is not just a flip to her. She is still talking about and advocating for and against policies using her post as a U.S. Senator and a former vice president. Wait a minute.
Yo, Camilla Harris.
Yeah.
Also, that's referring to.
Okay. All right. And she just advocated for Black voters to be transactional. This is the transaction. You know, she gets to dictate the transaction. Also, the Democrats still get around 85% of their voters that are cast by Black voters. Hence, they will get 85% of accountability.
Oh, man. Damn.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So that's sad to hear, you know. And you know anyone else to tell us that we should be putting pressure on the Republicans when the Repubs get a little more than 10 to 12% of voters casted by Black voters, while we ignore the decades-long neglect by the Democrats. We should have been putting that type of pressure on them and more a long time ago. Let's just say this is making them for lost time. More of this is to come. Okay, you'll get no argument from me, sir.
Yeah, that's Marcel Dixon. He used to run as a Democratic candidate for Congress, and then he changed his affiliation from a Democrat to United States Citizenship Party, and he was saying that a long time ago.
That's the one I ran against Clyburn, Shabaka.
Yep, Clyburn. Yep. Marcel Dixon.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay.
So I heard Farrakhan kiss the white man in the mouth.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Who? Clyburn?
No, talking about Minister Farrakhan.
Oh, Farrakhan. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine Minister Farrakhan will kiss a white man in the mouth, because I don't think Farrakhan is gay. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay. And Joe says he's got the video. Okay. Wow, Minister. I'm very sorry to hear that about you, Minister Farrakhan. I remember way back in 1985, man, when we called the Black community to go see you out there at the forum. I made it a point to go see you, brother minister. If you're doing shit like this, man, I just don't know what to say. You know, I really don't.
Let's just start fucking with the NOI, Shabaka. That's why Jay Militant.
Yeah.
That's one of their many. They start fucking with the NOI.
Okay. Yeah, that ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? That is not cool at all. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that's that European lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I can say about that is that I'm extremely disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Particularly here in my elder years. You know what I mean? Really is. Yeah. Okay. And Joe, he just sent me the tape to it. You know what I mean? I want to see.
Hey, Shabaka, I got a question for you. I noticed that former members of former members of Congress who are from California, why do they want to run for governor when they're doing so financial?
Okay, because you
Like
got to
Katie
understand,
Porter, for
Michael.
example.
Okay, is that California carries the most electoral votes in the presidential election.
Mhm.
See, anytime that you look at anytime that you look at a presidential election, and the reason why it stays on all night long is because they're waiting for California to come in. See,
Mhm.
and then just like when Dumpster won in California, man, I knew it was a wrap. You see, and really, they need to do something about getting rid of that damn electoral college. Now, keep in mind-
Exactly.
Okay, and keep in mind what happens, Michael, is that the vice president who presides over the U.S. Senate, right, like Kamala had to do,
Mhm.
when she was the vice president, she had to announce that Trump was the winner. You see, okay, Joe
Right.
says a picture of him kissing his wife, but a video of a mouth kiss between man, no, man. Wow.
Wow.
Okay, Cal Dog is asking you to send him something on Facebook Messenger. Okay, could you be more specific, Cal Dog?
He's talking about the video that Black Joe just sent you.
Okay, alrighty. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm gonna try my damnedest to do it, Cal Dog. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and that's very, very sad. You know what I'm saying? It really is. So what's happening with us? Okay, and then you right, Black Joe, know your enemy because he looks like you. Yeah.
It's not of our lineage. He's of Caribbean descent.
Yeah, he's from not Haiti, but what's the other one down in the Caribbean?
There's a whole bunch of islands. I think he's from Grenada or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and that's the cold part about it is, you see. And so then keep in mind is that, you know, when the police put the heat on our people, man, you know, you got a lot of our own people setting us up. You see, and then also too, the cold part about it is, we see they're putting us in the or what do they call that? A mindset of disarray, because like the referee says, protect yourself at all times. You see,
it's in a trick bag, Shabaka.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like your Clyde Boones, your Herschel Walkers. You know what I'm saying? These cats running for office, man, and then they okay. Now Michael is saying the Democrats' lack of action to open hostility towards reparations for freedmen is to ask us why are we not asking the Republicans?
Yeah, it's from Marcel Dixon receiving criticism from on Twitter Spaces because
him and Black Alpha talk to the damn Republicans, so that's bullshit.
Right.
That dumb shit.
Yeah, and so Marcel Dixon's receiving a lot of heat from a lot of people in Twitter and also from the older Democrats.
Exactly, Black Joe. It's their homeland, not ours.
Yeah, exactly. But the cold part about it is, though, see, this is what makes our exchange so dynamic, is because we gave the world everything, you know, rather than from the continent, rather than been in North America, rather than been in Asia, we gave the whole world everything. And this is why I'm very, very disappointed in Ibrahim Traore capitulating to Trump. You see, just like when they sent the 4-star general over there, Langley, Brother Chak, and Traore talks that stuff, what pisses me off, he looks like me. But motherfucker, what are you doing, man, to get them colonizers up out of there? What are you doing to get them French up out of there? You see what I'm saying?
Damn.
You know? Right, this is what I mean by capitulating. You see what I'm saying? And you remember me, Brother Chase, I was saying late last year, I said, I hope Traore is doing the right thing. I hope he is. You see what I mean? You know, but, you know, that diminished my hope, you know. And then also, too, for the U.S., you owe us the whole money as long as it's solvent in the Federal Reserve Bank. That's our reparations. And then also, too, to you assholes that have been coming
as we're going off on this, and we got to stick to the topics. So we just finished Giuliani. Now we're on midterms. So upcoming term elections.
Yeah. Okay, up on the upcoming midterm elections, as we've always stated, if they ain't doing nothing specifically for us, man, on reparations, man, the couch is looking mighty good to me.
Right.
And like I said, and then out here in Nevada, I am going to vote for Scam Brown again, because Scam Brown tells you he's a crook. You know what I'm saying? And I much rather appreciate upfront.
End of the 2026 midterms, 52 lawmakers have reportedly announced they are not running for re-election, the most in any election cycle since 2012. And the dramatic shift comes as Democrats look for a winning strategy to flip the House while Republicans try to hold their majority. Here to tell us why, Republican strategist Cassie Smith. Cassie, great to have you back on the program. And look, most of the answers are I'm old, I'm retiring, or I want to spend time with family. And while to an extent those answers may be true, what's the real reason these people are getting out?
Good morning, Todd. Yes, I think it is important to underscore that retirements happen every cycle. But you're right. A lot of these folks come from productive lives, business backgrounds, veterans, and they come to Washington and are really shocked when they can't get anything done. And that gets frustrating after a while. And they say, maybe I can do more for my community, my country, back home, out of public life. So that's the mixed bag of it's time to go, and also I need to go and do something else.
Yeah, there are also reports, Cassie, that people are disenchanted even more with just the bickering. Forget the not being able to get anything done. The fact that D.C. is so toxic and that draining the swamp is not something that can happen instantaneously. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I would take a slightly different tact on that. I think what they're frustrated with is that our government is so bloated. The way these bills that are now laws are made, Obamacare is a perfect example of this, is really complicated to undo because the lawmakers at the time did that on purpose because they wanted to keep their fingerprint on Washington long after they were gone. And so it can be frustrating that you go there thinking you're going to be able to do something, then you find out that it's much harder to do that. And so again, they say, well, I can go back to private life and get more done. Elon Musk is not in Congress, of course, but a perfect example of someone who thought through Doge he was going to be able to come and save us trillions of dollars. And he got close, several $100 billion, but a lot of it is tied up in really complicated regulations and statutes that make it tough to go in and do what you think should be a very easy task.
And now that he's back in the private sector, his private sector businesses are thriving. I mean, SpaceX could be valued at $1.5 trillion, which is a number that is just insane. So who's going to replace these folks? Democrats themselves are enlisting a group called the Hellcats to help get the majority back. These are 4 female Democrats with military backgrounds all running for Congress. And an article in Reuters says, quote, campaign strategists say the candidates' backgrounds could help them cross partisan divides and neutralize gender stereotypes that have sometimes dogged female candidates, proving toughness without sacrificing likability. That sounds like a really solid strategy for the Democrats. Should Republicans be concerned, Cassie?
Well,
even the Republicans is talking like us, dogged. Who the hell talks like that? That's only FBA. Oh, you dogged me. That's only us that talk like that. So even these damn Nabiscos is on the right side is trying to talk like us.
Mm-hmm. And Joe says here, democide is the intentional murder of people by government, including genocide, politicide, and mass murder, often intended to eliminate political opponents or subjugate populations. All right, Joe, you'll get an argument from me on that because I'm a fucking idiot will get up here and argue with undisputed truth. You know what I'm saying? You'll get an argument from me.
Uncle Chuck, you're right. He started that debauchery with our women, him and 2 Live Crew, and then boom, here go Freak Dick. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, yo, no, I'm done, man. Shit, damn, wow.
We'll see. One thing I want to note, some of these retirements, Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example, she won her seat by 30 points last cycle. So not every retirement is in a flip seat or a potential flip seat. But to the point of the Hellcats, I've noticed several of them do have pretty big primaries that they need to get through first. So we'll see who actually emerges through that. But one thing I think is most notable, Democrats think that they have found this silver bullet for themselves, and that is running look-alike Republican candidates. Abigail Spanberger out here in Virginia was just elected governor because she was this supposed moderate, former CIA. People have this sense of her that she's about duty and service and country, and yet her voting record right there with AOC's. So you have to, the devil is really in the details. Are they learning their lesson from running the woke crazies, the Mandamis, the AOCs that they realize cannot win out in real America? Or are they presenting a bunch of wolves in sheep's clothes? I tend to think it's the latter, and voters are going to have to be really smart about that when they go to the polls. But I also think it's interesting that Democrats realize to some extent, the party apparatus anyway, that running the far left woke candidates in districts across America, they know won't fly. And so they try and insert these folks that are, like I say, look-alike Republican candidates that harbor the traits that Republican voters typically like. For example, veterans.
Sure.
When in actuality, their policies are right there with AOC's. So it's something we got to keep a close eye on as voters.
Also got to keep a close eye on redistricting and whether or not Republicans put out quality candidates of their own. Cassie Smedley, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy. I'm Brian.
I have to disagree. I had to disagree with that lady on the right in the green shirt when she said that the Democrats are going too far to the left, but she's not mentioning her own party, Republicans. They're going way further to the right than Democrats are. Democrats have really stayed, somewhere in the middle, or have not really moved all the way to the left because they're still stuck under Bill Clinton's neoliberal. I'm sorry, still stuck under Bill Clinton's neoliberal policies from the 1990s. So Democrats have not really moved all the way to the left in the first place. I'm not sure what she's talking about, because if the Democrats did move all the way to the left, we would have seen a transformation in our system. And the Democrats have really co-opted on some Republican policies. So I don't know where she got that information from. Maybe she's not looking back in history. And also the problems in America have become more radical, and voters are hungry for radical solutions, because radical problems you can't really solve with moderate policies, because it does not address the root cause of economic pain and also the racial reckoning in America.
Yeah, exactly. And then Joe was saying here, now we got twerking on Kamala Harris political rallies. And Cal Dog says Floozy's festival, not a political rally. You're right. It ain't nothing but a great big ass trick convention. You know what I'm saying?
That's all it is. So with this latest Supreme Court ruling, the black vote is now for swing. It's a swing vote. Saying that, but now it's been finalized. So Sabby
Sabs. Yeah, and by the way, Jesse, the reason why Sabby Sabs did not ask hard questions about reparations is because Sabby respects Jill Stein. Just want to let you know.
Okay. Now, also too in California, they got a dude by the name of who's running for governor as well too, and I think he's going to be like a third-party candidate. Tom Steyer, but Tom Steyer,
yeah, the hell with him too.
Yeah, he used to support reparations when he ran for president in 2020.
Yeah, the amount was way too.
And he flipped on us, huh? Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Well, okay. And then as Joe is saying here, state backs our women against us and protect and backs foreign blacks against our women under the skies of religion or customs. And Cal Dog said he's full of shit also. Okay, Cal Dog.
Exactly. The hell with him too.
Okay, yeah, that's why I'm on the couch, Brother Paris, and I really wish there was a way I could vote for you in Colorado. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
You know, because I'm on a couch, man. I can't do it no more, man, because I used to be political, got in a fist fights, went to jail and all that old shit. But, you know, at my age, man, I can't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know. And then the cold part about it is that, okay, yeah, and Cal Dog says, remember, he's in the Bay. Yeah, now the Bay. Okay, now the thing about the Bay, they set a lot of trends there too. Okay, and then yeah, the Bay, yeah, Cal Dog, they set a whole lot of trends across the country. And Joe is saying here, you have to remember our women have the loudest voice in the room. Everyone listens, yet they have been predominantly turned against us. Stay back. That is a fact.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's where all that bed wenching is coming from. You see what I'm saying?
That
Yeah.
comes from the plantation. The bad ones come from the plantation. All right, let's see what Sabby Sab's got to say about black voters will become the swing voters.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Again, just a reminder, I am traveling this week, so that's why my background looks different. I'm actually in DC, the belly of the beast itself. So let's go ahead and get into this, ladies and gents. So first and foremost, I do want to go to the Voting Rights Act and what it actually did, because I think that it needs to be explained. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into that first. Make this a little bit smaller for you here. So the Voting Rights Act explained. It was the landmark 1965 law. It was one of the most successful civil rights measures in history, but the Supreme Court has eviscerated it. So if you guys been paying attention, that's what has been happening recently. So regarded as the legislative crown jewel of the civil rights era, the Voting Rights Act was enacted as a comprehensive tool meant to undo the political hold of Jim Crow policies in the South and related discriminatory structures nationwide. Now, Congress adopted the law to ensure that states followed the 15th Amendment guarantee that the right to vote not be denied because of race. The law fundamentally opened political opportunities for Black and Brown communities to participate in all aspects of the political system on an equal basis. Now, we want to focus here on Section 5. Section 5 of the law requires jurisdictions with a history of discrimination to obtain approval from the DOJ or a court before changing voting rules, a process known as pre-clearance. Now, Section 2 of that law allows people to sue either on their own behalf or with the assistance of the DOJ to undo existing laws and procedures that would deny equal political opportunity to voters to elect their candidates of choice. However, these protections have been eroded by recent Supreme Court decisions. So what you're hearing about right now, what's happening with this decision from SCOTUS is that, you guys know I've talked about this on the show before, there are districts that are drawn in such a way that would benefit the people that live in that district and thus the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. So there are certain districts that are drawn that basically give, minorities more representatives in Congress. So Louisiana is the state that we're going to focus on for this particular discussion, because that's the one that's the big topic at hand. So essentially, the Supreme Court basically pulling away from this. What that really means is that these districts that are drawn in such a way where the majority of the district is Black, for example, now those lines will be redrawn, and that means that these districts are going to basically make Black voters a swing vote. And that's the part I think that we really have to drive home, right? Like, basically what is happening with this decision from the Supreme Court, Black voters in those districts, once those lines are redrawn and they are no longer a predominantly Black district, it means that they're not going to be the majority of the voting populace. They're not going to have that voting block as they did before because the lines are redrawn. So I'll give you an example. If I had a district called, I don't know, Main Street, let's just call it Main Street District. And under the Voting Rights Act, right now, that district gives Black voters a little bit more power to get Black representatives in Congress, right? So if that is the case now, let's say the Supreme Court, they decide that, nope, we're not going to allow that to happen anymore because that's unconstitutional, which is what the Supreme Court is saying. So now that Main Street district, the lines will be redrawn where some of the Black voters that are in that district may now be a part of Anywhere Street district. And the other half may now be still be a part of Main Street district. So you're splitting that voting populace there. Now, ultimately, you have to ask yourself, which political party is this going to impact the most? The Republican Party or the Democratic Party? It's going to be the Democratic Party, right? And I'm going to tell you what the Democratic Party could have done to prevent this from happening, because I always think it's important to go back to that because they knew that this was coming down the pipeline. So that's why I say Black voters, once these districts are redrawn, will become swing voters. What that means is that the Democratic Party will not be able to just rely on the Black vote the way that they have been before. And I've been warning people about this, that this is where those demands are really going to be important, right? Like when Black voters say, we demand that you do this, we're asking you to do this to the Democratic Party, and Black voters have been doing that for years. That is going to be even more important as we go forward if nothing changes with this here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into this video here where they talk about Louisiana. Listen to this.
Now to the growing fallout after the Supreme Court's major ruling earlier this week limiting the landmark 1965 Voting Rights Act. In a 6-3 decision, the justices found Louisiana's 6th congressional district, currently represented by Democrat Cleo Fields, was improperly drawn, relying too heavily on race. Justice Samuel Alito called the map a, quote, unconstitutional gerrymander. Democrats point out with this ruling, only one of the state's 6 districts will be majority Black, though Black voters make up more than a third of Louisiana's voting age population. Congressman Fields is here with more on this. Congressman, really great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday. Since we last spoke on the day of the ruling, Louisiana's governor, Republican Jeff Landry, suspended the state's primary elections, specifically for U.S. House seats. Elections for other races, however, and ballot measures will continue as planned. What's your reaction to that?
Just total voter confusion. And listen, first of all, the Supreme Court Rule 44.1 does not allow the governor to do that. I mean, it gives the parties the opportunity to file for a rehearing. So it's really out of line. Not to mention the fact over 100,000 people have received early voting ballots.
I just have to pause it right here for a second, guys, because I want you to take a good look at this picture, right? So those who voted, who were not in favor of gutting the Voting Rights Act, it's Sotomayor, Jackson, and Kagan. And you can see those who supported it. Now, I want to make a point, okay? Notice Clarence Thomas supported gutting the Voting Rights Act. Clarence Thomas votes and supports with his party. You hear me? Even though he knows, and this goes way back, even though he knows that this is going to impact Black districts, he votes with his party. This is the problem with partisan politics and these political parties. Because at the end of the day, Clarence Thomas knows, he knows. But because he's a part of the Republican Party, he's going to back what the Republican Party wants. This is the big problem that I was pointing to, guys, that I really want you to pay attention to. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They are backing their party. This is another reason why I said SCOTUS should not be partisan. The Supreme Court should not be divided along party lines, but they are. And that's why, it's not even about the issues anymore. It's just about what your party wants, and that's what they support. Okay? So at the end of the day, Republicans are not, of course, freaking out about this. Republican Party, they want this to happen. It is going to benefit the Republican Party. The Democratic Party is angry about this, because it does not benefit the Democratic Party. And neither one of them are just looking at the fact of this system is inherently corrupt. This just goes to show you just how corrupt it is. This is what I was telling you guys. Nobody wants to really do the right thing because they're doing what benefits their party at the end of the day. Let's go on a little bit more here, and then I'm going to explain to you what could have been done, which could have prevented this from happening. Let's continue.
Many of them are military people overseas, elderly people who live in Louisiana. They have already cast their ballots. And for the governor and the secretary of state to halt the election in the middle of voting, disenfranchise thousands of voters in Louisiana, and to me is un-American and unconstitutional in my view.
And I'll say this. I've been warning you guys, I think something's going to happen during the midterms too. Like, I would not be surprised if Donald Trump tries to do something for the midterms, because like I said, right now, it does not look like the Republicans are on path to at least keep the House. It looks like the Democrats are on path to win the House. And we can go on and on about the Senate another time. But the point is this. The Democratic Party knew that this was coming. They have been talking about this for years. I just watched the interview that Brianna Joy Gray just had about this issue. Her guest was very knowledgeable about this. I have been saying this for years. Obama should have packed the Supreme Court, and he did not. You know, a lot of times we look back on these things, and I even said it back then and got snapped at for saying it. I felt like Obama was being too nice with the Republican Party, and here you go. I feel like he was trying too hard to be everybody's friend. And sometimes you can't be everyone's friend. But this, what you see happening right now, it was inevitable. This was not just a part of Project 2025. This was discussed in other projects, 2024, 2022, 2021. This was discussed in others. So they knew that this day was coming. And that's why I say there are ways that they could have gotten ahead of this, which we'll get into as well. Let's continue on more here.
Planning to hold several town halls this week. What are you going to tell your constituents, and what do you want them to take away from those town halls?
Well, it's my responsibility as a member of Congress is to inform the people. I'm going to start in Shreveport at 5:30 in Shreveport, then Alexandria, Lafayette, and then I'm going to end in Baton Rouge on Thursday. You know, this is an absolute outrageous move by the state of Louisiana. We're just telling people we are not going to count your vote. The election in Louisiana had already started. Candidates had qualified. People had started voting. Early voting in person started on yesterday. And it was just no reason for it. The Supreme Court did not say halt the election. And Louisiana decided to do just that. And I would hope that the Supreme Court reversed the actions of the governor and allow Louisianians to continue voting.
So if this is happening right now, after people have already started voting, what do you think is going to happen come the midterms in November? Because the reason why Donald Trump is pushing this, again, a lot of this comes from the Heritage Foundation. The reason why Donald Trump is pushing this is to help the Republican Party, to help them win. That's why Donald Trump is doing it, to help them win. He's looking out for his party. And what I want you to understand is that at the end of the day, it just goes to show you how corrupt this system is. And it happens on both sides. I remember, and we talked about this before, when Dennis Kucinich came on the show, people forget that Dennis Kucinich, his district was also redrawn. And it was redrawn by the Democratic Party. You see, before there was the squad that were the progressives, it was Dennis Kucinich, and he was kind of lonely at that point in time. But the thing was, he was a headache to Bill Clinton. The Democratic Party redrew his district so that he didn't have one. That's how they got him out of Congress.
Yep.
You see how the corruption works on both sides? Again, this is not to excuse what SCOTUS just did or what Donald Trump is doing, but it's showing you just how corrupt this system is. We have a system where we have the DNC, the DCCC, the DNC, where they can sit up there and actually pick the candidate that is going to be the nominee, despite what the voters say. That happened to Bernie Sanders. So that's the corruption. And this is why, and the more I think about it, this is why some people say they just don't feel like voting is even worth it. Now, I still vote, but some people say that, and they say that because the system is so inherently corrupt. The fact that people can just change the rules whenever they want to do what they want. But the key I think that people need to take from this is the fact that Black voters, and this happens in other states, which it looked like it's going in that direction, Black voters will become a swing vote. What that means is that the Democratic Party is going to have to actually earn the Black vote. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people are still going to vote for the Democratic Party because they still see them as a lesser evil of the Republican Party. So they're always going to have the party loyalists. But I'm talking about the people who are kind of like, I don't really know if I want to, or voting's a waste of time, like that type of thing. The independents, the no party affiliation voters, those people. And yes, there are Black people. I'm no party affiliate.
Yep.
There are Black people that are in that category. That means that you can't just rely on the Black vote. Let me get to this representation point before I get to the other solutions.
Fact.
Yes, representation is important. Yes, representation matters. At the same time, I have told you numerous times, when I look at like the Congressional Black Caucus, they have told you what their number one priority is. Their number one priority is Israel. It is not Black America. It is not. So yes, representation matters, but it matters the most when you have people who represent you that are actually fighting for the conditions and the demands of the people in the community and what that represents.
Definitely.
And they're not doing that.
Exactly.
So yeah, there's representation. Cory Booker's Black. Hakeem Jeffries is Black. Who do they fight for the most?
Lady, come on,
Think about that for a second. So it's not enough just to say there's representation. Those days are gone.
Right.
That's the point I've been making. It's crazy. I'm talking about this right now while I'm actually in DC, because every time I come here, every time I come to DC, I just see how I don't feel like there's independent thinkers. Right. I feel like everybody's just in like this partisan bubble. And it just reeks. And it's very weird to me. And it's very prominent here, of course, because this is where the president resides. Now let's get into one of these things that could have been done. We're going to talk about this article that came from 2021. It's called Democrats Have One Option Left. This article was written by Ronald Brownstein. And it was published, check this out, July 1st of 2021. So he was talking about SCOTUS weakening the Voting Rights Act back in 2021. Who was president at that time? It was Joe Biden, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joe Biden.
Let me tell you what he said in this article, because I remember discussing this way back in the day. Let's just fast forward to what he said the Democrats really needed to do. It is no coincidence that red states are imposing these restrictions precisely as millennials and Gen Zers, who represent the most racially diverse generations in American history, are rapidly increasing their share of the total vote. The rise of the younger generations, especially, threatens the GOP hold on the Sun Belt states such as Georgia, Texas, and Arizona, which Republicans now control through their dominance of older and non-urban white voters. In that way, the voting restrictions Republicans are enacting amount to stacking sandbags against a rising tide of demographic change. I pushed back a little bit on here because come 2024, I did say that Kamala was not going to win the Sun Belt. I've lived in Georgia. I've also lived in North Carolina. I was a part of that list at that time too. I also lived I went to high school in North Carolina. So, there's a reason why Obama only won North Carolina once. He didn't win it the second time. Yeah. So I was like, I think you guys are a little too quick to be calling these, some of these states purple, but whatever. Let's go on here. After a Republican filibuster blocked their sweeping voting rights bill, Senate Democrats are working to unify behind a more limited plan and to persuade holdout Democratic Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema to change the filibuster rules to pass it. Following today's decision, the demands from civil rights groups on Senate Democrats and Biden to change the rules will grow even more intense. See, this is one of those things that many of us were talking about when Biden was president, and a lot of people told us to be quiet and shut up.
Yeah.
And I warned people back then, okay, Democrats are in there, Biden's there. Now's the time to get these things done. Now's the time to be on the offense and not on the defense. Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, it was either both of them that would block these things or it was one of them. Either way, they were the rotating villain. And if it's not them, it's somebody else. There's always someone that steps in the way to stop these things from getting accomplished. Now you need to ask yourself why. One of the things, again, is that people need something to run on. So if something is taken away from you or there's a threat that is going to be taken away from you, they can always run on that. This is one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of these candidates accomplish a lot of things during their first term. They usually do a little bit here, and then they say, if you vote for me or for re-election, then I'll get those other things done, which they usually don't do anyway. You would think people would see past this at this point in time. But it goes on to say this: our leaders need to wake up and start acting like the house is on fire, because it is. And this ruling pours more gasoline on the flames. So that was from the CEO of the New Georgia Project. Black and brown communities gave Democrats federal power to protect the vote, and passing bills like the For the People Act is what we both expect and deserve. With more measured language, the fierce dissent from Justice Elena Kagan and the other Democratic appointed justices seem to be sending the same message. They obviously never endorse any legislation, but their tone reminded me of the pleas to the Senate majority. We've done all we can here. The justices seem to be saying now it's up to Congress rather to protect democracy at what Kagan called a perilous moment for the nation's commitment to equal citizenship. That article was written in 2021 under the Biden administration. And there were many of us at that time saying, they need to get rid of the filibuster. Here are all the different things that you can do.
Yep.
Now that Trump's not in office, many of us were saying that. We were told to be quiet.
Yep. Just shut up and vote.
We were told to go to sleep, go back to brunch. And here we are. One of the things that we said before is that the filibuster gotta go. That's one of the big ones that they can get rid of. The other thing is, and we do go back to Obama with this one, Obama should have packed the Supreme Court. He did not. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, as much as a lot of people claim to love her so much, first of all, Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a racist.
Yes, she was.
People need to look this up. A lot of liberals be clapping and screaming for RBG. They don't tell you about who she really was.
As hell, fuck that bitch. That's why when
Ruth Bader Ginsburg was sick, knew that she was sick. She should have retired while Obama was in office, and he could have put someone in that seat. When Donald Trump became president, he started packing the Supreme Court. This actually matters because these are lifetime appointments. Now let's fast forward to Biden. One of the demands towards Joe Biden was to have term limits for SCOTUS. Even Ro Khanna was one of the people that were saying that. I don't know about you, but I don't know any other job where you just get this lifetime appointment.
Right.
So that's another thing. The term limits. These are things that could have been done to prevent this from happening. And that's how we get here. And that's why I get so angry with the Democratic Party, because they don't play offense, they play defense. And if it was sports, like sometimes defense does win games. But in politics, especially nowadays, you have to be on the offense. And that is not what was happening. And that's how we get here. So people understand Donald Trump took advantage of all these things that did not happen under Democrat leadership the first time under Obama. Then what makes it worse is that he won again. And so now he's in there again, and he's also taking advantage of all the things that could have been done that were not done under the Biden administration. And that's how we get here. Things are going to change. This is going to be a big change. I'm not going to, because other states start following suit with this, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. This is going to be a big change. That's going to be a change with the voting populace. That's going to be a change with elected representatives in Congress. Now, if we had a system that wasn't corrupt, this wouldn't even be a problem. That's the part that people are missing. A lot of people in corporate media, they're talking about they're taking rights away, they're taking this and they're taking that and they're taking that. But none of them are hitting the nail on the head, which is that we have such a corrupt system that this is even allowed to happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They never bring it back to corruption. That's the piece that's missing.
Mm-hmm.
And the final point, the Democratic Party, I think, is terrified of Black voters becoming a swing vote.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they won't tell you that. They won't say it exactly just like I did. But they're terrified.
Yeah.
Because they rely on that. Black voters are the backbone of the Democratic Party. They rely on that. They're terrified of that. That would really change things for the Democratic Party.
Yep.
And, you know, the reality is they may have to try to meet some demands that Black voters have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the days of the Democratic Party just sitting back and saying, we don't have to do anything, you know, for the Black community, you know, like Joe Biden told those civil rights leaders, now's not the time. The days of that and just expecting that you're just going to get the Black vote. If this happens all across the country, what you see happening in Louisiana, those days are gone.
Right. Welcome back, Shabaka.
So
salute, Fresh.
I don't know. I do not want to say, you know, we tried to tell you, but I will say this. You know, I'm glad more people are starting to listen more to independent media because I just feel like many of these things that some of us over in political YouTube media predicted while Biden was president are coming to light.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like.
All right, thank you, Sabby Sabs.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse.
Like and subscribe to Front Line Blacc News and Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced.
Yeah. Hey, Jesse, do you think Sabby Sabs needs to be more FBA oriented on her YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Because I know someone who works closely with Sabby Sabs, and he had a disagreement with her because Sabby Sabs was playing, you know, two sides on the immigration issue.
Yeah.
And my colleagues like, hey, Sab, you got to be more American focused. Stop focusing on, you know, foreign policy. But in this video, she's actually, you know, right about the Black swing votes, as well as, you know, demanding, you know, reparations, like policies, specific policies for foundational Black Americans. And it's interesting. And by the way, Sabby Sabs had a wake up call, I think in 2021.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, because before that, she used to be about universal policies only. Nowadays, it's like she's saying, okay, if you're going to do universal policies, then you have to also include reparations or have like set asides as well.
Remember, she was a Bernie Sanders supporter in the.
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah, she was a Bernie Sanders supporter, I think, up until 2020, and she found out that Bernie Sanders became very compromised and fought by the demon rats.
Yeah, Sanders our reparations wasn't feasible. To hell with him.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just about to say, Brother Che.
Exactly.
Now, the reason why, white America is against these reparations is because it's going to bring them face to face with themselves of their horror of how they brutalized us. You see, this is why they always come with diversionary shit. But what about this group? What about that group? No, we need to focus on ourselves.
Exactly.
And I've been cussing these bastards out all day, man, on social media about that.
Yeah.
Well, we're all the same. Hey, bring your ass out here in June, man, when the temperature hits 118 motherfucking degrees, and I'll show you how we are not the same.
Right. Totally different. Right. Totally different experience. Right. And, you know, as a matter of fact, Shabaka, I encountered a similar, actually, you know, a very intense situation from a white guy. Oh, go ahead, Sabak.
No. What did he tell you, Michael?
Oh, okay, yes. So he was talking about reparations, right? He's actually good. He actually works with Abby on this channel called Abby Doe.
Okay.
Yeah, Abby though, right? And I was telling the white guy, his name is Michael. He lives in Canada,
Okay.
right? He's for like the for communism, right? And I said, Michael, okay, great. You want to end this? Is okay, but Michael, don't forget that just because you want to have class solidarity doesn't mean that American freedom are going to be included. So there needs to be set aside because the power dynamics are still going to be reinforced. They're not going to change. When I said that, oh my gosh, he got so mad at me. He's like, "Oh, you don't care about working class people? You want working class people to suffer? You still want capitalism to be reinforced when American freedom get reparations?"
Okay, well, see, Michael, that's the diversionary tactic. You see, because I've had those type of arguments with these individuals. See, that's diversionary. You see what I'm saying? And then the thing is, you got to keep in mind when it came to socialism, Karl Marx said that we don't have the intellectual capacity to understand it.
Yeah, the hell with Karl Marx.
Right. You see, and they coming up with anything, man, to prevent us, from getting our rightful place of running things. You see what I'm saying? And this is why I would say go back to Queen and Zinga. You see what I'm saying? Is because when them Portuguese came down there with that bullshit, then she realized that they were full of shit. She says, "No, you all got to take the spot now."
Yeah, after she bullshitted Shabaka, up until then, she was all with it.
No, but that's what I mean. Bullshitted though, Brother Paris. You know what I'm saying? It's called in the legal term fraud in the inducement. Yeah, you see, because I'm inducing you to some bullshit. Fraud in the inception means we got a legitimate deal. Then all of a sudden I come with some bullshit. But regardless, though, what our people should have did on the continent when they saw them unbathed, funky, nasty motherfuckers, they should have went on, man, you got to get up out the neighborhood. You stink. That's what the group. That's what the group.
That we already have going on here in the Sahara. That's why they did that. They already had a slave trade already going on over there. They already had They already had a slave trade before the European Caucasoid even arrived over there. So when they got over there, they seen what they were already up to, and they capitalized off of it.
Okay, but what I'm just saying though is this. Okay, regardless of what internal affairs that we had on the continent does not mean for others to come in there. You see what I'm saying? But however, I do agree with what you're saying.
But that's exactly what they did, Shabaka. They seen what was going on, and they capitalized off of it.
Right, and then the motherfuckers who did the selling got captured also. You see what I'm saying?
I'm talking about the Europeans. When they seen what was going on over there in Africa, they capitalized off of it. The Europeans.
Yeah, on two fronts.
And Shabaka, them tribal leaders signed treaties with them European savages. They didn't have no issue with it. They didn't have no issue with it until they got their heads bumped. Then they wanted to cry foul, but by then it was too late.
Yeah, move to the head of the class, Brother Che. Now you see my point. You see what I'm saying? But what it is, though, is that the Nabiscos, that's in their nature, because, see, those are troglodytes. You see what I'm saying? So they're unclean by nature. They're unsavory by nature. Not only do they have unclean bodies, they got unclean minds, unclean thoughts, unclean spirits. You see what I'm saying? You say, and then of course, when we realized what they was doing, and then we put up the what do they call it? The resistance. Then they came in and, hey, like, oh, Cash Patel, we got some Boone's Farm for you. We got some alcohol for you. You see what I'm saying? And you remember when I read Lerone Bennett on that, and then like you and I both agree on the track. It didn't happen overnight. It was a strategic plan. Yeah, go ahead.
They were giving them trinkets for slaves, Shabaka.
Right, and that's what I was cussing out a damn tether about on Facebook, man. You know what I'm saying? And I says, man, you trinket ass trick. You know what I'm saying? And for me to sit up there and sympathize with your ass, man, that's an insult to my intelligence. Now, when you go step to these goddamn Caucasoids like I do, then get back with me. You say, because Caucasoids, well, Shabaka, we're all the same. No, motherfucker, we're not. It's going to be over 100 fucking degrees out here in less than a month. They don't never take me up on my invitation, Brother Chuck, to come sit with me in the sun. I wonder why.
If it hits 150 Shabaka, then all hell done broke loose.
Yeah, you say, but we are the children of the sun. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, okay, Val. Yeah, like you said, they took down the Eskimos with that alcohol. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, they have a bunch of trinket tricks.
Exactly, cow dog. You know what I'm saying? So what's happening, Brother Che, what you and I are saying is it's 6 in one, half a dozen in the other. But it still adds up to the number 6. You know what I'm saying? As far as the law of itemization is concerned. Okay, yeah. But then when we come up here like cow dog and then, other contributors to our platform, they come at us over the net and all this old type of shit. You see what I mean? And then you got those who we try to bring up, but they too damn scared. Oh, I don't want to jeopardize my position. Okay, self-preservation is the first law of nature. But at least if you're going to use that, don't sit up there and me with a bunch of motherfuckers. So just simply say, well, sir, I can't get on here right now. Okay, great, fine, beautiful. You see what I'm saying? But then also, too, as you had pointed out, Brother Che, when it came to the bouquet, when the Europeans were having marriages, they stunk so damn bad they had those flowers there to kill the stench. Now, can you imagine a filthy-ass dude, man, going up in a filthy-ass woman, man? That ain't nothing but disaster in the making. Okay, now Joe says artificial intelligence says I'm right about us getting invaded. Okay. And then keep in mind, too, is that artificial intelligence only knows what it's programmed. You see what I mean? And then the cold part about it is, just like what I talk about the robot. You heard me mention this here, okay, and I'm saying this here for the, Cow Dog says, he's quoting you, Brother Che, don't forget the $5 Indians, the trick, the $5 trick Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also too, Cow Dog, take a ride up to the Little Bighorn, okay? All righty. Okay, let me see what you got in the inbox there, Joe. But take a ride up there to the Little Bighorn and experience what I did, and I did it by myself. Actually, it was very dangerous, you know what I'm saying? But I'm glad I walked up out of there because they damn sure didn't say, hey, welcome, brother. They said, why the fuck did your people side with the white man against theirs?
And I would have, what is your people? First of all, what is your people?
Yeah.
What is your
feed the clothes the motherfuckers when they came there at Plymouth Rock?
Well, that was our people, Shabaka. That's the thing. That's what I keep trying to tell you. Like, there's different Indians all over this country. The ones that you ran into, those are the Siberians.
Okay. And then come to think of it, Brother Che, they did have Siberian features, you know what I'm saying? Okay, Joe's telling me to check the inbox. Okay, so I'm going to check the inbox. Okay, right back. Okay. And then, let's see. Okay.
I said this place is not far from Reno.
Okay, he says, what now is not far from Reno?
There's a bunch of reservations not far from Reno.
Yeah, he's right about that. Yeah, the Paiutes. Okay, I think they call them the Utes and the Paiutes, I believe. Yeah, you see. And then on top of that as well, too. But, okay, wait a minute. Okay, now, Joe has said artificial intelligence says Europeans could have did it without gunpowder. They had better steel. But here's the cold part about the gunpowder. Okay, we all know that Marco Polo went to China way before these cats, and that they were over there shooting fireworks from gunpowder. So everything, yeah, Val, yeah, Vegas does got a reservation out here too. It does. Okay. Then on top of it there too, but the European, everything that he came across, whether it was shown to him or he quote unquote misdiscovered it, he always used it for tools of destruction as opposed to tools of construction. You see? And then the cold part about it is the woman of their homie never should have taught them the Pisco bras how to bathe.
There was too,
that was what?
slave traders too.
Okay, well, you see, that's just it, though, Brother Che. Now, on that, okay, I always go to the theory of King Shaka with the Zulu Nation, is that what they would do is when they would have their wars, then they would just simply incorporate those as they had defeated in the war into their nation.
Slavery, Shabaka. The homie actually has slavery. I did a
what type of slavery?
I did a whole paper on the homie. They had
what was the sources? Were these Afrocentric sources or European sources?
Oh, Shabaka. They had slavery. That's why they called it the slave coast. That whole area over there was the slave coast. That's where they was getting slaves from. The homie was a big slave trader.
And then when the Europeans saw what was going on, they came in there and took them as slaves too, like with the Amistad. Damn. So therefore, the European is full of lies, deceit, playing both ends against the middle. You know what I'm saying? And that's just his damn nature, just like what they're doing right here in this political arena today. You see? I'm not saying we didn't have issues on our continent, man, but what I'm just saying is that some issues need to stay in-house. It's because the Europeans came with that goddamn alcohol.
We already had before the European came. And
he came with the booze brothers.
House shit is that we get the short end of the stick. We're not doing it needs to stay in-house no more. These mothers ain't trying to keep their shit in-house. They trying to get in our business and what the hell we got going on over here. Ain't no in-house. But we're not loyal or obligated to not spill the beans on the slave trade class in Africa.
Okay, but at the same token, is here. You see, that is an internal issue, and this is what I tell these goddamn Nabiscos, and I block them off my wall.
Issue because we're not even of the same tribe, we're not even of the same lineage. How is it an eternal issue?
Okay, what the point is, what I'm saying is, brother, that there's an internal issue with ourselves. It's because from what I've witnessed in my lifetime, our biggest mistake is with this all-inclusive
shit. These people don't even want to have nothing to do with us. How is that?
I understand that, Brother Che. I understand that with you, and I'm with you on that.
That means that we have our own in-house stuff that's going on. We're not of them people. Them people are not our people. That's the problem that we've had for the past 50 years. We've been trying to make these people our people, and they're not our people. They don't want to have nothing to do with us. They don't want to build us. They don't want to do nothing with us except take. So
okay, you and I are in agreement on that there, Brother Che. But however, though, is this. We don't need to be having Nabiscos in our business. You see what I'm saying?
The Africans brought the Nabiscos into our business.
And they got captured too. See, that's why I bummed on these motherfuckers who was trying to friend me from Africa.
I don't see you going in on that. I don't see you or the other Pan-Africanness going in on them about that. I don't see that. All I hear is, oh, we need to go back to Africa. Oh, Africa loves us so much. Oh, we can do so much stuff in Africa. No, them people don't want to have nothing to do with us, Shabaka.
I know, and that's why, like I said, Brother Trey, to prove my point even further, this is why, when Traore capitulated, man, that did it for me. Then the damn Dutch, them was the most brutal of the slave traders, and also too, I'm saying this here on my personal case. Elon Musk is not no fucking African. He's a goddamn Boer.
Yes, his lineage is Boer, but on paperwork, he is an African. He's a South African citizen.
Okay, Brother Che. Have you ever heard of counterfeit money?
Shabaka, on paperwork. I'm not saying he's an African. I'm saying on paper.
Okay, now that's good enough for me right there. You see, I want to see that motherfucker burn up in the goddamn desert. See? And the cold part is that we made a mistake of greeting them motherfuckers. Just like the same thing that the indigenous people did here in the United States. Fresh. Musk is not no goddamn African American. He's a goddamn Boer. Tell that bastard to come out here and sit in the sun with me in Las Vegas this week.
Shabaka, if you look at his passport,
I could care the fuck less. I look at him as a white man with straight hair, blue eyes.
Well, you could care the fuck less. But the fact is, on paperwork, it says that he's African American. Same thing with Mandani. Same thing with Kamala Harris. Same thing with Kash Patel. Same thing with a lot of these so-called melanated groups. They can come in and call themselves African American. That's why we don't go by that term no more. We're not African Americans. We are foundational Black Americans. We are the foundation of this country. We're the reason why this country even exists.
Okay, tell me this. Why is it every goddamn time I got pulled over by the police department, man, and I said, what's your probable cause? They tell me to shut the fuck up. Tell me that.
Because it's based off their discretion, Shabaka. That's why. Everything's based off of their discretion. And like we've already stated numerous times, they are slave patrollers. They weren't enslaving Africans on the continent. They were enslaving us over here. That's the part that we keep neglecting and failing to acknowledge. Many of us were already here. Only 3 to 4. Hold on, Shabaka. Only 3 to 4% of those that were transported from Africa actually ended up in what is now the United States of America. So that means there was already Black people already here. They enslaved.
We circumnavigated the globe.
You're Shabaki. Yes. So if we circumnavigated the globe, why is it so far-fetched and so out of this world that we were already here before a stinking, raping, slaving pedophile by the name of Columbus came over to this part of the world? And when he came, he documented that there were Black people over here already. Why is that so? You always say that we circumnavigate the globe, but we circumnavigate the globe, but we're not indigenous here. Everybody else is indigenous here but us. But we were already here. We have documented proof that we were already here. We have the oldest. Hold on.
No, I'm ready to go, Shay.
We have the oldest right here. What was the brother's name? Walter. What was his damn name? Not Walter Plecker. That's the one I reclassified that says Negro, Black, and Colored. The brother whose lineage goes all the way back to like the 1500s on this soil. I think Cow Dog or Val, one of y'all know what I'm talking about because Tariq talked about it. The oldest lineage here, not in Africa, here.
But like I said,
yeah,
it's like this.
I've seen that, Joe.
Okay. Only thing I can say about that is this. Okay. Yeah, I heard of Queen Khalifa. Yeah, California, right. Also, to pull up Queen Nzinga, you know, while you're at it.
Okay, but the Portuguese until she got her head bumped, and then she said, "Oh, now we got a problem." But before that, she didn't have no issue with what they had going on.
Yeah, but then when she saw it, but that's when she went on her 50-year
after the fact. Initially, she was all with it.
Okay, but what I'm saying, though, Brother Che, is this:
Albert Perry has the lineage on this land right here, Shabaka. Not in Africa.
Who's Albert Perry?
He has the oldest lineage. Look him up, Shabaka. He keep telling us to look stuff up.
Who is he? Yeah, just go on and tell me. And who is he?
I'm telling you who he is. He has the oldest lineage here in the United States.
Okay, once again, Brother Che, who is he?
Shabaka. I'm literally telling you who he is. He's a freedman. He has the oldest lineage here in the United States. That's who he is.
Yeah, okay. All righty. All right, but like I said, you know, to all these fucking tethers out here, you know, I don't have no regards for them. And just like that one cat that had friended me here on Facebook that we brought up on the panel one time, man, you know, then this motherfucker gonna sit up there gonna say, do we got $500 to get him? To give him, and I said, man, fuck you. Go see the Europeans for it, you know. And I blocked his ass.
Black American from South Carolina, Shabaka, whose DNA.
Okay, South Carolina was a slave state.
Yes, Shabaka, that's where my people is from.
Okay, hold it. And Charleston, South Carolina was a major slave port.
Yeah, Shabaka, let me keep reading. This is before the transatlantic slave trade. His lineage goes all the way back before that, because the first mission arrived in South Carolina to 1526. His lineage goes back further than that. Albert Perry was an African-American or foundational Black American man from South Carolina whose DNA discovery in 2012 fundamentally shifted the scientific understanding of human evolution. His Y chromosome lineage, known as the haplogroup X or AOO, is the oldest male lineage in the human family tree.
Go on.
That means he's older than Africa, Shabaka.
Well, Africa is the original continent. You see what I'm saying? And then the cool part about it is why did they get all the
look, Shabaka, the oldest female lineage is in Africa. The oldest male lineage is in what is now known as the United States of America. This is scientifically proven. This ain't no hearsay. And I just pulled up out my behind. This has been scientifically proven. DNA evidence. When a female relative of Perry submitted a DNA sample from one of his male descendants to family tree DNA, geneticists realized his Y chromosome did not fit into any previously known category. Revised human timeline. Prior to this discovery, the most common male ancestor, often known as genetic Adam, was estimated to have lived between 60,000 and 140,000 years ago. Perry's lineage pushes that date back significantly, with initial estimates suggesting that a divergence of approximately 338,000 years ago. That's here in America, Shabaka, not in Africa. Right here in America. Ancient lineage. His lineage is hold on, Shabaka. His lineage is so ancient that it predates the oldest known fossils, anatomically modern humans, Homo sapiens, suggesting that that lineage may have originated from interbreeding between modern and archaic human groups in Africa. Okay, so they found him here, though. They didn't find him in Africa. They didn't find this lineage in Africa. They found it here in the United States of America.
You just said he had African lineage, Brother Che.
Oh, no. I said that that lineage that goes all the way back 338,000 years ago was from interbreeding between modern and archaic human groups in Africa. That's what I said. So if we circumnavigated the globe, we could have circumnavigated the globe over 100,000 years ago.
Okay, could be. But here's one thing that I'll say. Fuck a goddamn Nabisco.
Shabaka.
Nabisco.
You always bring up Nabiscos. We're not even talking about Nabiscos. This ain't got shit to do with no Nabisco. Nabisco was still in a cave, eating raw meat, walking on all fours.
The troglodyte.
So I don't even know why you're bringing them up. I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking. You asked me who Albert Perry is. That's why I was telling you who Albert Perry is. You start going off on to hell with the Nabisco.
Whoa. Now, where did he get this information from?
What do you mean? It's DNA. I just told you where he got the information from.
Okay, but who did the DNA, Brother?
Geneticist, Shabaka.
Who's geneticist?
Oh my gosh, Shabaka. You don't know what a geneticist is?
No, I don't. Help me, I'm ignorant.
People that study the human genome, Shabaka. Have you ever heard of the Human Genome Project?
Vaguely.
Oh my gosh, bro, you got to do some research. You asking me questions that you should already know the answers to. The geneticists did the DNA, Shabaka. Black geneticists did the DNA. They found out that his lineage is right here in the United States.
Interesting. All right, let's move on to the next subject. Okay, and plus that, man, and we got another podcast coming up, Brother Che.
Yeah.
Okay. It leads up to you trust white science. I don't trust white science. Look at Henrietta Lacks.
Henrietta Lacks is the only reason why we have stem cells, Shabaka. That's
but even
science.
still, though, Brother Che,
that's science. Hold on, Shabaka. Our people started science. Our people started mathematics. or people started anything educational before you're did any goddamn thing.
Well, see, that's my point, Brother Che. You just proved my point. The goddamn European man, you know, he ain't shit. He claims everything as his own. Okay, now Joe is saying here, daughters of the... Okay, wait a minute, Joe. I was reading a comment. Okay, the book details how these interracial unions created a hybrid, powerful Euro-African culture centered to the Atlantic slave trade. Well, in the first place, man, I don't lay with Nabisco bras.
But that's what they were doing, Shabaka. That's what the Moors was doing.
And they made a huge mistake, and they wonder why the fuck they got conquered. Damn. That's why the fuck they got conquered. You stand up there when you lay down. What is that there? When you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas.
Right.
And that's all what that is fleas. And then also too. No, go ahead.
The next topic is the report on Black America. So I got a whole video pulled up on this. So you want to talk about the state of Black America. So this is the annual report.
Yeah. Okay.
From demographics to household income, education levels, and family dynamics, these numbers tell a powerful story of growth, resilience, and opportunity in Black communities across the country. Thank you for joining us as we dive into the key statistics that highlight the Black American population. So without further ado, let's get started. The Black population in the United States has experienced significant growth over the past 2 decades. In 2022, an estimated 47.9 million people self-identified as Black, accounting for approximately 14.4% of the total U.S. population. This represents a 32% increase compared to the year 2000, when the Black population stood at 36.2 million. Several factors have contributed to this growth, including natural population increases, immigration from African and Caribbean nations, and a notable rise in multiracial identities. This demographic shift highlights not only the growing presence, but also the increasing diversity of the Black population in America, influencing cultural, social, and economic landscapes across the nation. In the United States, the Black population is slightly more female than male, with women making up 52% of the total Black population and men making up the remaining 48%. There are several factors that contribute to the gender imbalance in the Black population, including shorter lifespans for Black men, as well as imprisonment. Not to mention, the life expectancy for Black women is 7 years higher than that of Black men. The U.S. Black population is notably younger than the overall U.S. population, with a median age of 32 years. This is nearly 6 years younger than the median age of the total U.S. population, which stands at 38 years. This youthful demographic is underscored by the fact that roughly 30% of the Black population is under the age of 20, showcasing a large, vibrant younger generation. In contrast, only 12% of the Black population is aged 65 or older, compared to higher proportions of seniors in the broader U.S. population. The southern United States continue to be home to the majority of the Black population, with 56% of all Black Americans residing in the region. This reflects historical patterns rooted in the South's cultural and historical significance to Black communities. Many freed Black people stayed in the South to establish communities, churches, schools, and businesses after emancipation. African Americans have a stronger connection to the cultural heritage of the South and are attracted to its economic opportunities as well as its proximity to family. On a state level, Texas, Florida, and Georgia boast the top 3 states with the largest Black population. Among Black U.S. households, it's split down the middle in terms of who brings home $50,000 a year in income. 49% earned less than $50,000, while 51% made $50,000 or more. A third of Black households, 34%, earned $75,000 or more, including 22% that made $100,000 or more. About 4 in 10 Black people in the U.S. live in households that are headed by married couples. Roughly 3 in 10 Black people live in households whose household head is female. An interesting insight is that 60% of Black children live in 30% of the households. However, we must point out that the term single also includes mothers who may be living with but are not married to the father. This could also mean single mother divorcees. Black children live in a variety of family structures, including married, unmarried, and cohabitating, co-parenting, and single parenting households. And these nuances are not accounted for in the census questionnaires and most of the demographic surveys that are cited in the news. Also, we want to point out that children that live with single mothers doesn't mean that the Black father is not involved in their life. It may simply mean that they are not married or no longer married to the mother. In 2013, the CDC published a national study that demonstrated greater involvement of Black fathers in their children's lives compared to other racial groups. Black educational attainment is inching much closer to the national average, and today, 88% of Black Americans have earned their high school diploma, just shy of the national average. College education levels have also gone up as Black Americans have made significant progress in both enrollment and graduation rates. A little over a quarter of all Black U.S. adults ages 25 and older have a bachelor's degree or some form of college education, and 1 out of 10 Black American adults have earned an advanced degree in the form of a master's, doctoral, or professional degree. Black consumers' collective economic power is $1.8 trillion annually and set to expand dramatically in the next 5 years. Black spending power has grown exponentially over the past decade, outpacing the overall U.S. growth rate. This reflects increasing income levels, educational attainment, and entrepreneurship within the Black community. Black consumers are trendsetters across industries, with their preferences often driving broader cultural and consumer shifts. This is particularly evident in sectors like fashion, music, and media. In the past decade, Black homeownership rates are increasing at the same rate as the U.S. homeownership rate. However, the homeownership rate for African Americans is almost 30 points behind that of white Americans. Beyond affordability, Black first-time homebuyers also face extra challenges in getting a mortgage. Almost 25% of Black families who applied for home purchases last year were denied, resulting in Black Americans having the highest denial rates for purchase and refinance loans than any other race. The ongoing barriers to home ownership is a testament to the nation's long history of using factors rooted in systemic and structural racism to determine access to a mortgage, and consequently, access to generational wealth. There are more than 21 million Black Americans in the U.S. labor force today, representing 13% of all U.S. workers. Our workforce experiences are varied, but there are a number of occupations that we are overrepresented in. For example, we are more likely to be employed in healthcare, social work, and security fields. Black-owned businesses play a vital role in driving economic growth, fostering community resilience, and addressing systemic inequities in the United States. Black entrepreneurs own approximately 3.5 million businesses, which have collectively generated $217 billion in total sales and employed more than 1.2 million people. These enterprises are not only crucial to the economic health of the Black community, but also to the broader U.S. economy. Moreover, Black entrepreneurs bring fresh perspectives, innovative products, and services that expand consumer choices and create new markets. African Americans' higher social media usage is not merely about quantity, but about the platform's central role in their lives. From staying informed and entertained to shaping culture and advocating for change, social media is a vital and dynamic tool for the African American community. 75% of African American internet users engage with social networking sites on a weekly basis with an average of 6 hours a week. This accounts for almost 40% more time on social media than the general U.S. population. Survey results are mixed on which social media platform is the most popular for the Black community. TikTok usage is ranked high with millennials and Gen Z users, followed by Instagram and Twitter, while platforms like Facebook are widely used with older African Americans. Historically, Black colleges and universities hold a unique and transformative place in American higher education. Established primarily after the Civil War to provide African Americans with access to higher education in a segregated society, HBCUs have long served as havens for intellectual growth. Today, while they account for only 3% of higher education institutions, they produce an impressive 20% of Black graduates, showcasing their continued relevance and impact. HBCUs produce a significant share of Black professionals, including 50% of Black teachers, 40% of Black engineers, and 80% of Black judges. Their influence on the cultural, social, and economic fabric of the United States is profound, as they provide education to students from historically underserved backgrounds and champion diversity in academia and beyond. As such, HBCUs remain indispensable pillars of higher education while meeting the challenges of a rapidly changing world.
We appreciate the fact that you stayed until the end. Thank you for spending time with us, and don't forget to like this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so that you never miss a video.
And also make sure you like and subscribe to Front Line Blacc News. All right, Shabaka. So that's the annual report, the state of Black America. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, once again, man, we were the original scientists. Once again, we were the original navigators, astronomers, astrology, that's zodiac sign. We was pretty much the original of everything except filth. The European troglodyte, he's the originator of filth. He's got an unclean body. He's got an unclean mind. He's got an unclean spirit. And I would debate with any scholar on that. Oh, yeah, Joe. Now, okay, Brother Chang, you and I talked about this movie. That was a damn good movie right there, Joe. The spook that's back by the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that was definitely a case of the art of war. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they beat him, put him down, said he wasn't nothing, but that motherfucker there came back with some revolution on their ass, you know. And the sad part about it is, man, the brother had to kill his best friend, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was really bad. You see what I mean? But all what I'm saying is here, Brother Che, as you and I both, the majority of our panel agreed on, man, this is chess, not checkers. You see what I mean? Hell, I think we even didn't we even give the world chess too?
Yep, I think so. Is it us or the Arabs?
Yeah, but I think it was us because keep in mind is that as Professor P.L.O. Lumumba has said, the Arab came down there and did the same shit too. So I want to pull up some of his works, you know, on what have you. And by the way, and I'm still reaching out to Ashwa Kwesi. I'm still yet to hear from him.
Yeah,
calling Dr. Ashwa, calling Dr. Ashwa.
Better reaching out to really better off reaching out to Anthony Browder.
Okay.
Dr. Winters. Who else? And our brother Chase McGee.
Okay. All right. Okay. But the thing is, though, is that Africa is the cradle of civilization. You know what I'm saying?
Out of Africa theory, yes.
Yeah, okay. And then the cold part about it is these goddamn Nabiscos want to call you, me, you know, the rest of our panel a bunch of foul shit. But if it wasn't for us, them stanky, nasty motherfuckers wouldn't know how to wash their funky asses. And then just like when we was talking about when Kennedy was sending the Peace Corps over there to Africa with all those vaccines and shit, Brother Jay. You see what I'm saying? It was genocide. You see what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna talk about Jabby Jab. You know what I'm saying? It was genocide.
Because we're going off on a tangent. We're supposed to be talking about the state of Black America.
Okay, the state of Black America, man. You know, it's in a state of shambles. You see what I'm saying? Number one. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on, Brother Che. Yeah, checking my list right here. Okay, yeah, you're right. Yeah, the state affairs of Black people in the U.S. Okay, what it is, Black family on that day, and thank you for correcting me, Brother Che. Okay, is that we are all we got, Black family. Okay, it's up to us to take care of us. It's because the only thing these goddamn she-devils are gonna do is contaminate the bloodline. You see what I'm saying? The same thing with these damn bed wenches. You see what I mean? Just like the bed wench who went off with the white man. What was that there? Somewhere in the Midwest, and he chops her head off and cuts her all up and all this old kind of shit.
You're talking about Robinson, Shabaka in Milwaukee.
Yeah, okay, wait a minute now. Cut from a different cloth says, have you heard of Octavia Butler? She has a book trilogy called Wild Seed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna have to go. See, man, this is why I hate dealing with you youngins, man, with my old senile ass. Now I gotta go over here to the fucking library, man.
The library's at your fingertips now, Shabaka.
I know, but I prefer it in a book form as opposed to AI. You know what I'm saying? But that's just me. You know? Yeah. See, y'all always do this shit here to me, man. Damn. But let me tell you, youngin', something. Keep living and you'll be an old ass bastard like me too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And okay, so I'm gonna do it. So I'm probably I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
It looks like the state of Black America isn't as bad as we've been made to think.
Okay.
A lot of entrepreneurship over the past 5 years. We've had
good.
Which is always good. And we are employing our own people.
Brother Che, you glitched out for a second.
And we're employing our own people. Like you're all.
That's beautiful. No, that's beautiful. That is beautiful, employing our own people. You know what I'm saying? And then too, the cats, who did some time, and feel their spirit and get them some employment, as well too. You see what I'm saying? Because see, this is why they spend so much time of pitting us against one another, because they do know that if we did unify, man, we could shut these motherfuckers down, man, in about 3 days. And they know that.
I got unity.
We don't.
No, we know it. I got unity fatigue. I'm about sick of hearing about unity. The only people I unify with is Muslims on the same accord, same mindset. When there's never gonna be all this unity that you're always speaking of. The only thing that we're gonna have is those that's on code and those that's off code.
Okay, now let me ask you this. Okay, from the militaristic point of view, what do we do with the ones who are off code?
They got to go. We got to ostracize them. We got to get rid of them. They got to get them out the paint. They can no longer speak for us. They can no longer represent us. That's what we do with them.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, let me ask you this. Here to quote Sister Soldier when she was on Phil Donahue, where she owned Phil Donahue. She says, "Where are these good white people at? I want to see them."
Yeah.
She called out Dr. Cornel West too on Phil Donahue when Dr. Cornel said, he said, we shall overcome. And Sister Soldier's like, that's BS.
Yeah, she was right.
Yep.
And also too, Michael, to give you some more cannon fodder, meaning more ammunition, okay, is that when they did the last episode of the TV show called A Different World, and I think, Brother Che, didn't we mention that, man, on the Rebellion of 1992, where Sister Soldier went up there and was telling Jasmine
Willie Gilbert, Willie Gilbert. Yeah, because Willie Gilbert said that we have the U.S. Constitution, and Sister Soldier said, girl, yeah, right. The U.S. Constitution was never meant for us.
Exactly. And it still ain't. You see, it still ain't. Because, see, if it was meant for us there, Michael, see, we wouldn't have all these policy enforcers killing unarmed black people. You see? Right. And then on top of it, just like that asshole Derek Chauvin, I was arguing with some bastards on that. They're going to sit up there and say, no, George Floyd died of an overdose. I says, how in the fuck is he not going to die? The motherfucker, man, putting his knee on his neck and can't breathe. Me and Brother Che looked at that video. What was that, about at least 25 times together, Brother Che?
Yep.
Saw the exact time where he had expired. You remember when I thought that liquid up under the car, I thought it was radiator fluid. And I says, wait a minute, that car wasn't in no wreck. It was the man urinating on himself.
Yep.
Yeah. And these motherfuckers got the audacity to say that Darren Chauvin deserves a second trial. Man, fuck Derek Chauvin.
He ain't going nowhere, Shabaka. Even if he was to get pardoned at the federal level, he still has to do a sentence.
Right.
That's
probation, right?
No, he has to do a state sentence, not probation.
Oh, state sentence. Oh, okay, because I thought this was federal. Sorry.
Okay, now and keep in mind, man, that at the feds, you got to do 80% of the time before even the consideration of parole.
Right. And he's done with that, he got to do the state sentence.
Yeah, exactly. You see what I'm saying? So fuck Derek Chauvin.
Yeah,
even all boiled down to is because George Floyd was fucking a Nabisco woman that he was seeing. That's really what it boiled down to. anti-black of the old South. You see?
Yeah, Derek Southern's ex-wife left him after the Floyd murder.
Yeah, right. And she's probably getting laid by a brother too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. They said that George Floyd and Derek Chauvin used to do security before the incident happened.
Yep.
Exactly, they did. You see what I'm saying? And what it was is that they were both involved with the same woman. Like I said, that she devil would get you killed. You see what I'm saying? But the black sister, she will kill you if you design her.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the last topic, and that is Trump's approval rating.
Oh, it's going down. Yeah, that's great news. You see what I'm saying? And then hopefully the dumpster will go ahead and self-destruct and bring JD down with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, the shit that he's been saying is so asinine, man. And then
Let's get to a new poll in both ABC and Ipsos that shows Trump's approval rating overall and ratings on issues at, I believe, what is record lows of his, at least in his second term. You've got a 37% overall approval rating, 62% disapproval rating. Cost of living, 23%, 76% disapproved, 72% disapproved of the Iran of inflation, and 66% disapprove of Iran, 59% disapprove of immigration. We've talked about some of these bad numbers before that are now getting worse, and how the levels that they've reached means it's sort of crossed the threshold arena of Republican support. What's your takeaway from this worsening situation for the president?
I'm unsurprised. It's exactly the direction that many of us have told him it would be in, which is really high numbers on disapproving on cost of living and inflation. Those are the places in which he was elected to do better. That's it. It's simple math.
Simple.
I think the administration misses the mark when they don't understand that the messaging can be done well in an all of the above fashion.
So you think this is a messaging problem and not a policy problem?
Without a doubt, because what voters wanted was a solutions talk, right? There are things going on behind the scenes. I mean, inevitably, all these people weren't brought onto the administration to do nothing, right? But they have been muffled because the president is the speakerphone. He's the one who always controls the messaging. And I say to that, and I say this to anybody I've ever worked with, whether they're running for Congress or another office, I say, we need to do an all of the above approach. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. Tell me about the economy while telling me your plans for handling geopolitical tension. You can do that, but they continue to bifurcate it all. And we're seeing, again, the frustration exhibited in the numbers with largely independents. And they know they're worried. They know it's bad.
It's, as my husband likes to say about issues, it's not complicated, but it is complex. And that seems to be the issue. Shout out to I heard you make a
swearing. This dude that's speaking, Michelle, he's oh God, he's a fucking disgrace.
What about it?
Wasn't he the one who interviewed Kamala Harris at the National Journalists Association, right? He's pretty familiar.
Yeah, he's one of them boule goddamn Skittles. Nail polish, wearing fucking. And they had him in a whole dress, all kinds of crazy weird shit.
Another Billy Porter.
So
another Billy Porter.
I wouldn't take nothing he says with any kind of validity or seriousness.
Right.
It sounds like he has
you thought not explicitly a messaging issue, and all I keep hearing in my head is Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? And what Donald Trump and
all I keep hearing in my head is Kamala Harris is not a black woman. And that's what Janet Jackson. And I stand with Janet.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do nothing strictly for black people. No, and fixing greens in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Republicans have done for the public lately is raise their cost of energy, raise their gas prices, cut their healthcare tax subsidies, do nothing about the cost of housing that they're facing, do nothing to help them. Then also add in the cost of basic goods that they need, shoes, clothes, food, inflation, tariffs, things that Donald Trump did, which congressional Republicans did nothing to rein him in on. Yeah. Is what they have.
Not to mention starting a war that exacerbates all those things.
Exactly. So this is their actions, this is their policies. There's no way for them to outmessage this because the reality is people know who controls Washington. Republicans have the House, the Senate, the White House. They are in control. Voters see that, and thus the disapproval numbers we're witnessing.
Well, let's hear from Gen Z voters what they have to say about all of this. Let's hear from some real people, not just us around the table, about how they feel about things.
Oh, Jesse, the guy in the glasses, he's definitely against
For the
reparations.
first time in American history, the younger generations are not set up to have a better life than their parents did. And I think that that's an unfair and that's a scary thing.
What would you all say are the two
That's Bakari sellouts. To hell with him.
most important topics right now?
I would say the economy and the disappearing middle class.
I would say affordability and the job market.
Protecting democracy and campaign finance.
The economy.
How you gonna protect something that never existed?
Exactly. Yeah, you can't have It's like what Demetri Case said, right? You can't have voting rights act unless you address human rights first.
Right.
You don't rent.
Okay, well, that's just so, Michael, not cutting your wisdom. First, let me say that. First place, you have to understand, Jesse is excluded from this. Politicians, man, are prostitutes.
Yeah. So you need to buy and rent them and make them do your
Exactly.
bidding.
Exactly. Politicians are prostitutes except for Jesse.
Except for Jesse.
Jesse been out there. Yeah, except for Jesse. Because Jesse been out there. Him and I both, seen the coldest part of the day, which is just before sunrise. Nothing nice, she said. But these motherfuckers up here, man, is doing backroom deals. You see what I'm saying? And then on top of it, probably doing some Diddy shit as well too, just like the Congressman of California.
That's a good point, Black Joe. Not to cut your wisdom, Shabaka. I was just responding to Black Joe. He said, or remind them that their family can be touched.
Yeah, you see. Okay. Now, cut from a different cloth says, the way I see it, my ancestors were set free with potato sacks for clothes, no food, no money, and no shelter. We're going to be all right. Yeah.
Right. That's from a different cloth.
Yeah, in Alabama, they used to beat my ancestors with chains.
You was dealing with that debt peonage and that convict leasing. Your ancestors was dealing with that in Alabama.
Yeah, all that. As a matter of fact, I think Alabama started the convict leasing, Brother Jeff.
Yep. And they had the death too, where they were literally working to death in them damn mines.
Just like, what the Boers is doing over there in South Africa. Yeah, Sister Mary McKeever made a song about that. And I put it to you. She's singing it in, because Sister Mary spoke Xhosa, Zulu, and Xhosa, Zulu, and the third language that she used to speak.
Hey, Jesse. Oh, sorry.
No,
yeah,
go
Jesse.
ahead, man.
Yeah, the lady who said that, the lady in the video said that, democracy is number one. I could tell you these Gen Z voters don't have a real understanding of. I'm sorry, they really don't understand the real American history because most of them have been assaulted their entire lives.
Yeah, and then it's been omitted from the curriculum.
Yeah.
And on top of it as well, too, that's what that woke theory shit is about, too. Just like I was in Florida, when I was in Florida, and I'm saying this here for our audience, Brother Che, I already told you that. When I was in Florida, Nabisco comes up to me, have you heard about woke theory? And I says, what the fuck is that? That's what people feel bad about slavery. And I said, hey, man, let's change the subject,
Yeah, woke is just synonymous for black. The broad that came up with it, she wrote a whole book on it. She couldn't even define it. The hell was the damn broad? name? Beth. She couldn't even define woke, but she wrote a whole book on it. How the hell you gonna write a whole book on something you can't define it?
Right, exactly. You
I
know,
might start writing me a book on how to fly the space shuttle then.
Mhm.
Right.
It's kind of like, it's kind of,
misguided, don't know what the hell they're talking about. How you gonna defend something that never existed? This is a constitutional republic. It is not.
Exactly. Yeah, and I gotta tell you, the Gen Zers, unfortunately, in this video, the Gen Zers, unfortunately, don't really want to go back to like several centuries before America was built, or even like several decades back. And so they end up going to vote. Some of them are going to vote Republicans. Some are going to sit on the couch. Some are going to vote Democrats, and they don't understand that this the America's economic crisis actually started under President Nixon, Carter, Reagan, Bush Sr., Bill Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama, and then Trump. So it goes back to like several generations back with, deregulation.
Biden.
Right, Biden. Sorry, I keep forgetting Biden. Yes, Biden. Yes. So it goes back to several generations in the past. And unfortunately, I wish these Gen Zers in the clip really take the time to study the real American history from a perspective.
They stole woke. That was a phrase. Remember, say woke. They woke one.
Yeah. And even like the Gen Zers too, right? They're getting more bold and racist at the same time because they learn from their parents' generation.
Remember, they said, "Oh, it's just the older generations that's racist. The newer generations ain't like that. No, they teaching that shit to their kids."
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Just like what Franklin said on Charlie Brown, Brother Che, where he told Charlie Brown, if I was to bust you in your mouth and all your goddamn teeth, you gonna forget about that?
Okay, I'm gonna let the video continue now.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And how united we are as a society.
Affordability, as well as protecting our democracy.
Income inequality and foreign policy.
So that was our colleague Maya Eaglin, who did that roundtable with Gen Z voters. But Rena, I mean, this is why, as you said a moment ago, that they're worried. That folks within the administration, the Republican Party, are worried.
Well, let me give you an example from my own life. I was listed in the tariffs case that was successful at the Supreme Court on the amicus brief. I must add, the real work was done by Michelle Norma.
Another goddamn boss.
Yeah.
And all those great people defending democracy together. I lent my name with a dozen other.
Yeah, it has to stop being incentivized. We got to put them all out of business. That's how we stop.
Yeah.
Republicans to say, we think these tariffs, he doesn't have the right to do that, right? What they do right after we won that case? They just came back and said, we'll do it under some other obscure authority. This is where they're choosing to spend their time, and it's wrong because the tariffs are directly related to the cost of living. I'm a young mother. I've got 3 tiny children I got to keep alive and also like make their lives run too, in addition to mine. So price of living is very difficult when we go out to get our clothes and just daily goods. That is directly related to this tariff war. I gave the president, before I was against tariffs, his tariff piece, I was for it. So I'm actually unusual in that way because I said maybe this is going to do better negotiation, better trade deals for the U.S. We have now seen that did not materialize. No. This is the problem with the administration, is that they cannot talk about solutions because the president is, again, controlling everything. This is a really, really bad precedent to set for the executive branch. You need other people to get in there and say, the American people are thirsty for ideas. Let's give them some ideas. All those Gen Z folks right there, they wanted to know that they could be part of the middle class, afford a house at some point.
Oh, which I think they recognize they likely will not be able to, and thus they're speaking about affordability. They're also probably looking for jobs. People are coming out of college in this moment where we know that there's a decline in economic numbers and employment opportunities right now. And so when Donald Trump takes actions to make those things worse, when Republicans stand by and do nothing to pull back on that, they have no argument to make explicitly to those voters.
And when they don't take off-ramps, because the Supreme Court gave them an off-ramp. There have been off-ramps on the things that are unpopular.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court, Congress, just like time passing, they have given Donald Trump and this administration off-ramps. And every single time he seems to refuse to take it. And what I'm struck by is during the first term, bad polls, bad headlines used to kind of move Donald Trump. It used to, you would see those things and it wouldn't be huge changes. They just stopped talking about certain things.
But he would dance to them.
And
You're making a good point.
Right.
And
And that is not the case anymore. So when you have a leader of a party, the Republican, your party, who refuses to take the off-ramps, who is not moved by bad polls, is not moved by hearing from the American people that things aren't working, you aren't doing the things you promised to do for me. What does that do for everybody else? Because unlike the Democratic Party who loves a fight, the Republican Party is just like, whatever Donald Trump says, we'll go slowly but surely.
It sets the stage for generational losses, and that makes me upset. Not because I'm some party line holder, right? I mean, Speaker Johnson every day of the week is like, hold the line, we can do this, we are numbers, everybody just trust us. No, we can't trust you anymore. I am only a Republican because I care about limited government. And we have a duopoly.
So much for that.
Exactly, so much for that. You're showing me you don't care about my values or the values of millions of other voters across the country. And also, here's the bigger thing. This president has conceded, if you've listened to him, as I know you all have, that he's fine with losing the trifecta. What? We don't have a multi-party system in this country. We have a duopoly that I've been trying to break forever. I've had to choose a side being in this town almost 2 decades. But the vast majority of Americans are losing hope, and they're losing it so quickly that they are not going to politically participate this fall. That's my biggest fear as a political professional.
Well, and James Tallarico has a sharp take on this disillusionment that we're talking about right now. Eugene had a little exclusive yesterday about the speech that he gave to HBCU graduates in Texas. And he said that your disillusionment is a superpower. Actually, let's play that talk quickly if we have time.
Disillusionment has a bad reputation, but being disillusioned means being freed from illusions, to see reality, to know the truth. As painful as it may be, your disillusionment is a superpower. You can see the world as it is and dream of the way it ought to be.
Juanita, are you confident that young voters are channeling their disillusionment toward the ballot box in November?
I mean, some of them. And let's be real. Let's look at the track record of young voters who have an impact explicitly in midterms. I'm thinking back to 2022 when it was young voters who prevented what was considered to be predicted to be a red wave, and it was nothing. It was a trickle, a little bit of scattered wins there for Republicans, but it completely rejected historical norms around Democrats or the party in control in a midterm cycle. And so I think young people are absolutely primed to do that because their lives and their well-beings and their futures are at stake.
I think the interesting thing about Tallarico is he has to figure out a way to bring Black voters back into the fold after that primary. And there is a little bit of the party needing to pay attention how the folks on the ground are doing it instead of doing the on high thing. Because he went to the oldest HBCU in Texas, west of the Mississippi, very small graduating class. And the speech wasn't really about politics, but it was about all the things that move our politics. And I think more of the Democrats should do that because it channels what you're talking about, this anger and frustration people have, and it points it somewhere because they can be angry, but you got to point them to somewhere.
I think in addition to the anger, though, you also need to provide them with vision and solutions and what you will deliver for them because this isn't just about feel good.
And I'm going to point this conversation to an end. Juanita Tolliver, Rena Shaw, I have to do that because we have to go. Thank you both very much.
Yeah, I got to say, hey, Jesse. Yeah, in that video, Rena said I got to focus on her specifically because when she says for limited government, I think the good question or the pushback is, okay, Rena, so fine. Do you support limited space, cash paying reparations for American freedmen of chattel slavery? And I bet you her response is no, I don't support reparations. I could bet you maybe 60%.
Safe bet. Yeah, safe bet. That's a safe
new
bet,
poll
Mike.
from ABC, the Washington Post, and Ipsos finds President Trump's approval rating is at an all-time low. 62% of Americans disapprove of President Trump.
Get rid of.
That's up 2% since February. Political panel time, Republican strategist Tiffany Smiley and Democratic strategist Amisha Cross are both with us at the table, and it's so great to see you. Tiffany, I want to start with you because these numbers are not good for President Trump. How should him and his team be reading them?
Yeah, it's not uncommon for a president at this moment in his term to have, disapproval ratings that are relatively high or the highest in the term. But let's remember that President Trump has only been in office for a year and 3 months. And the Biden-Harris administration really put us in a bad place on inflation. And I wish we could just flip a switch and turn it off and on, but that's just not how inflation works. President Trump got into office and he's been working day and night to lower costs for hardworking American families. So I'm a mom of 3 boys. I know that I used to walk out of the grocery store with 4 bags. Now I'm walking out with 2 bags and paying the same amount. Moms across the country know this. Prices are up. But I think we need to remember, and Republicans heading into the midterms need to be able to understand where the American people are and say, hey, it was bad. The Biden-Harris administration, put us in a really bad spot, but things are getting better. And President Trump is working to make things better. You think of the no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. People are going to they're going to be getting more money in their pocket in the next few months. So good things are happening. Job reports are higher than expected. Unemployment rates are going.
They're on the vertical.
Okay, are you familiar with this person?
No, they're on the vertical.
Okay.
Down, things are trending in the right direction. And President Trump, between now and the midterms is 6 months. That's a very, very long time in political terms.
It is. It's like right around the corner, but it's also a lifetime, right?
Yes.
Tiffany's right in that these low poll numbers are not new for
Shit, it's like $10 a pound here.
President heading into the first midterms after coming into office. But history has also shown us that when they are low, there's a consequence of losing seats in Congress. How do you think, Amisha, that Democrats are trying to capitalize on the president's performance in these 6 months?
Well, Democrats are speaking to Trump's policies that have caused a lot of the approval ratings we've seen. In large part, what we saw with his tariff strategy that actually increased prices for everyday Americans who were, just going to buy groceries for their kids. They have rerun several of his own personal quotes about needing this war and not having enough money for childcare because we have to be in this war. Americans writ large, whether they're red, blue, purple, or anywhere in between, are not fans.
Get the fuck out of here! If I see a purple or blue motherfucker, I'm running like hell. That's
They're also not fans of this president saying that affordability is a hoax. What we know is that prices have gone up. They've gone up significantly. Everywhere from the pump, which is part of the war, which is part of the equivalent of war with Iran. We would have the prices of the if we hadn't gone to war with Iran. But beyond that, it is healthcare expenses. It is the One Big Beautiful Bill Act did something extraordinary for Trump and his cronies. It put a lot of money in the pockets of already wealthy Americans, but the middle class is shrinking and the impoverished class continues to grow. We've seen cuts to things like food stamps, where they kicked hundreds of thousands of people off, in addition to Medicaid. It's not extended to those who really need it, but it's not really kicking people. But people got kicked off.
Illegals off of food stamps. Illegals.
Yep.
I kicked off of food stamps. That's the part you're leaving out. Illegals.
Yeah.
Roles who needed this to feed their families. What we know is the overwhelming majority of people who qualify for food stamps are people with young kids in the home. What we also know is that right now, the unemployment rate is still at a place it should not be. And yes, there have been increases, but those are low-wage jobs. Those are not the jobs that allow you to pay your rent and take care of your families. These are things that should be priorities for the president. He said this was a golden age of America. We're wondering when that golden age actually happens and who it's for.
And Tiffany, you just said 6 months is actually a lot of time to turn things around. What is your response here? How can he do that and get the message across that just give me a little more time, things will get better?
Yeah, I think he is doing that. You see him out on the campaign trail. He's going to be out, he said, as if he's running for president, because we know when Donald Trump is at the top of the ticket, people turn out and vote. That will be the challenge for Republicans, because he's not at the top of the ticket, and Republicans have a job or a gap to fill, really, in sharing with the American people that things are going to get better. A lot can happen in 6 months. Gas prices can come down considerably economy. Grocery prices can come down considerably within the next 6 months. And Democrats really are not in a good place either. They have progressive far left candidates that they continue to back in their party. You have Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, backing the new Senate candidate in Maine, Planter. And that's not going to sell broadly across the country to the American people. So Republicans have a challenge ahead of them, and they need to meet the challenge and make sure that they are sharing the message that things are going to get better.
I want to talk to you both about one Republican plan, because obviously the margins are tight. And Politico is reporting that some Republicans are trying to recruit Senator John Fetterman to switch parties, and that President Trump would offer an endorsement, even some financial backing. Fetterman has said he's not going to do this, but I wonder if that speaks broader.
You see how these goddamn politicians is prostitutes.
What does that say about the Democratic Party here?
Might as well go
And the Republicans' attempt to flip him.
Well, I think that the Republicans are trying to make this overture in large part because John Fetterman has given them votes in many cases. We're talking about in terms of getting some of the Senate appointees across, in terms of getting and ensuring that, President Trump's OBBA bill passed. He has been someone who has stood by a lot of controversial conservative bills, much to the chagrin of those in the Democratic Party. But I don't see him changing his tune anytime soon, because it will water down his effect in large part. I think that he likes seeing himself as somewhat of an independent, of a maverick in this sense. He loses that if he goes Republican. Also, he would only be there as long as it takes them to replace him with an actual Republican. So it doesn't make sense in his calculus.
Yeah, I have long said that John Fetterman perhaps is the only moderate, common sense Democrat that Congress has today. He really cuts through to independents. He makes sense. When you look at where he has aligned with Republicans, he's a strong supporter of Israel. He also was a strong supporter of immigration and securing our border. That's widely popular with people in Pennsylvania and the American people. But you have to wonder if there are perhaps more Democrats that actually align with him, but they just don't want to say the quiet part out loud. Because, the Democrats really alienate him and have been quite mean to him. I think they would be smart to partner with him and engage with him.
We will see if that happens. Thank you both for your time. I wish we had more of it. Tiffany Smiley and Amisha Cross, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I want to add something to that video, what that white lady said, right?
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, I think she's wrong in a lot of ways, about how the party needs to be really careful, strategic. She's missing a point that,
right,
one, she's too privileged. She's very privileged, does not understand, working class Americans, and does not understand how we got from A to Z in the last 3-4 decades, since the late 1970s, outsourcing of good paying American jobs to developing countries.
Including
NAFTA.
Michael,
sorry.
Was Clinton. That there was that free trade agreement shit that Clinton came up with.
Yes, that's true. And that's a moderate policy that led to radical problems over time. That's the part she's not mentioning. And also the lady on the right, she talks about how people are getting excited about voting for Democrats, but she's excluding what American freedom voters need, which is limited space, cash payment, reparations, in addition to meeting basic needs like food, healthcare, etc. And we can't go back to this centrist policy. I'm sorry, neoliberal policies where things got worse and worse, or started to exacerbate. So in other words, a radical solution is needed to cure a radical problem, because moderate solutions cannot cure radical problems.
Right.
You're right about that, Michael. You see what I'm saying? And I think, like I related to Shay in the chat, is that this is the time right now for us to build up the Black businesses and put our own people to work now.
Well, that show video, we're already doing that. That's already being done.
Okay, but what I'm just saying, though, Brother Che, is needs to be, shown more explicitly. You see what I'm saying?
Expanded, right?
Exactly. It's because, see, the model to look at on that there, Michael, is the Montgomery bus boycott. They say Because when they did the thing with Rosa Parks, okay, the black community came together, says, you know, do not take the bus, ride a bike, get on a skateboard, get on two, huh?
That was before we had this influx of tethers.
Tethers.
Yeah. And Jesse, you're right too. And Jesse, you're right that immigrants make up the #1 beneficiaries on food stamps, where the Democratic strategists failed to mention.
Yeah, and the main
white people in jail.
Yeah, white people. Yes, white people too. And that's where the white lady, I mean, the Republican strategist did not want to mention.
Yeah.
Okay.
People are on welfare.
But we got to put it out there, Michael.
Yeah, go ahead.
But we still got to put it out there that the main ones who benefited off that shit, the food sandwich, was rural, white, hillbilly, Trey Brewer, inbred looking motherfuckers.
Yeah,
This was the main motherfuckers on that shit.
Remember when FDR passed that shit in the 1930s? Black people,
Black Americans got excluded.
Right.
Yeah, his New Deal proposal. And funny you should say that, Brother Che, because I was looking at the History Channel and they was talking about Roosevelt's New Deal and the GI Bill. But a lot of black soldiers who came back, man, who lost their goddamn lives in World War II, just like with the Port Chicago incident.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, you know, we was thrown to the bottom rung of the American social order once again. You see, that's my overall point of that I'm making. You see, and then also to these fucking tethers, you know, who allowed themselves to be bullshitted with that transatlantic slave trade. Yeah, they need to be held very accountable. And what the fuck they need to be charged with. Okay, hold on, Brother Che. You're gonna love this next sentence. Them bastards need to be charged with treason.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, seriously. That was fucking treason. You see, Nabiscos, you don't give them no credit for nothing except for filth, disease, poverty, and a whole bunch of other foul shit. And then also too, now that class shit that they talk about, well, it ain't racial, it's classism. Bullshit. If that was the case, then why the fuck did they fuck up Black Wall Street?
Exactly.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and also true.
And gentlemen, and no motherfucker on this internet, man, has ever answered that fucking question. They come to me with a whole bunch of racial hatred and diverting from it and all that shit. You see,
right?
And Shabaka, you got to cut the thing off from it.
Right. And you make a great point too, right? Because in America, right, when they talk about classism, showing class solidarity, because majority of white people, even if they're like working class, they still practice anti-black racism. They even like participated in the slave trade with the white masters, even though white people are poor, but they still own the share of slaves.
Yes, sir, that is correct. That is very, very correct. You see what I'm saying? And this is why I was debating with an individual talking about, well, you had black slave owners too. Actually, it was a relative of mine. I says, what the fuck that you're overlooking is that they were buying their relatives.
That part.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Say they were buying their relatives. And then when I argue with people on social media with these damn Nabiscos, they wanted to speak to that too. As a matter of fact, you know what, gentlemen, hold on. You know what, gentlemen? Here's the movie that y'all need to see with your boy James Garner and Lou Gossett was in it. It was called Skin Game, right? And Lou Gossett got caught up in it and he got thrown on the plantation system with his bullshit, right? Talking about, I'm a free man. And they bashed him in his head and threw him in that slave cage and he got sold. And what happened was
a slave. That's what they did in 12 Years a Slave.
Okay, now that there just proves my point again. You see, these motherfuckers hate us because they cannot be us. That's why they subjugated that individual to that, because I had a discussion with my cousin about it who had saw the film. You see what I mean? And then not to mention the fact is that had he not escaped, you see what I'm saying? He probably would have been a slave till he was dead, just like Frederick Douglass, okay? When he beat the shit out the raping, slave trading pedophile that violated his mother, Freddie D had to get up out of Dodge when he hit him with that whip, and Freddie D wouldn't put that work in on his ass. You see what I'm saying? Well, man, I got to get the fuck up out of here now. So he was a stowaway on a trip out of Baltimore Harbor, Brother Che. So he went around the world, man, and Frederick D had wound it up over there in San Francisco. They got a housing project called Frederick Douglass apartment. Yeah, in the Fillmore district, exactly. You see what I'm saying? Say, and this is the part you say that they don't want to be held accountable on. You see, this is why you get these Charlie Kirk motherfuckers, or you mean black on black. No, you motherfuckers is capitalizing off of it too, because if there was such a thing as black on black crime, we should be dealing with it as opposed to them putting our people in these white-owned penitentiaries. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The crime happens to whoever's closest to you. They got black, they got white on white crime, they got Asian on Asian crime, they got brown on brown. It's not on black, and a lot of those black on black ain't even black. They damn tethers.
Yep.
All these guys. That's why we making them delineate now. When they do crime, where the hell they from? If they from Senegal, they gotta say Senegalese man did so and so da 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 da.
Right. And even like the FBI, according to the FBI statistics, majority of crimes committed against FBAs is by other groups of people, Mzungus, Asians, and Hispanics. It's not FBAs committing crimes against other groups of people. It's actually other groups of people. Because FBAs, and also right? And you know how the media talks about, mass destruction of schools, right? They never talk about the white man who created the most destruction in public schools, like Connor, Brad, because they're carrying AK-47. And
where the first modern day school shooting took place in Columbine at Columbine High School in racist ass sundown Littleton, Colorado.
And that happened, Brother Che, about 6 months before the first time I sat in Denver, Colorado. And I saw the sign that said Columbine. I said, ain't that there?
Them two motherfuckers there, they was trying to kill black people, but there's no black people at no damn Columbine Elementary except for Isaiah Souls. That's why Isaiah Souls is the only black person that got killed. They killed them Nabiscos because they got in the way, because I was Columbine like a week or two before they even went down.
Okay, and then look at Dylan Roof and what the fuck he did. Damn, take him to Jack in the Box or Burger King or some shit like that. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse.
They gave him $1 million worth of whiteness. The damn judge was his damn defense attorney. How the hell does that work?
Right.
Talk about a kangaroo court.
How they did Amber Geiger, where that goddamn tether was sitting up there hugging her.
I saw that. Yeah, I remember that video. Phil Scott reported. It's like, my gosh, I've never seen a police officer hugging a defendant who's about to be
the damn judge, the damn mammy ass judge sitting up there hugging her, caressing her hair and shit.
Like a slave, like she's like as if like bound down to the slave master. White is right, white is superior, and even like the plaintiff's family member.
Yep, that's his. They called themselves the trench coat mafia. Yep, and they was inspired by Adolf Hitler. That's why they did that around 420. I think they did it on 420, 1996 or 1999. I was in the 6th grade.
I think you're right.
Hey Jesse, when Columbine happened, when I saw that in the news, I think I was in 5th grade at that time in 1990.
No, you were older than me. You had to have been like in the 7th grade.
Oh no, actually my mom. No, it was. I'm trying to remember. No, my mom held me back 1 grade. I would have graduated from high school in 2005, the same year you graduated from high school, right?
Okay.
Yeah. If my mom had not held me 1 grade behind, grade behind.
So 04.
Yeah, I graduated 06 from high school.
Oh,
so
okay.
I think I was supposed to graduate from high school 05. Yeah.
You all want to know what year I left high school?
What year?
Oh my gosh.
1976.
Yeah.
76. Wow. You graduated during that was that was election time, election season.
Yeah, it was a bicentennial election, but it was also at the height of the disco era. That's another thing that we didn't get credit for.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because I had the record called On Sunset by Donna Summer when we would have out of town visitors come to LA. At that time, I'd take down Sunset Boulevard. I said, hey, y'all remember this record called On Sunset? Off the Bad Girls album.
So you're the same age as my mom and my dad. Because my dad's Gen X, and so is my mom.
Gen X.
Okay, so you guys were born after the baby boomers, the Gen X.
My mom was born in 71.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the baby boomers was born prior to 1965.
Mm-hmm.
Came up with Tupac. And then, as you do know, that Tupac's mother, Finney,
me too,
was in prison. Had Tupac in prison in that Panther 21 trial.
Yeah.
She died 3 days ago?
Who is that?
Athena Shakur, 3 years ago. And when did she pass? In 16? When did she pass?
Yeah, I think it was either 16 or 17. She passed away in Marin County.
So it's been 10 years since she's passed.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember Tupac. I remember Tupac was a guest star in A Different World in 1993.
He was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. And then also too, I'm not too far away from where Tupac was shot on Las Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah.
Yeah, just say. And then the cold part about it is
over there, Shabaka showed the mural and everything.
Huh?
They have a memorial over there for Tupac.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go find it.
Remember, you showed it. You did.
Oh,
find
okay.
It. You showed it.
Oh, okay.
It was raining.
Okay.
Or
okay.
New Year's. It was on New Year's. I showed the video of somebody going to the memorial. That's what it was. We was doing New Year's.
Yeah. Hey, Justice Blacc. Oh.
Mm-hmm. We gotta wrap this thing up. So
very quick. Yeah.
Are you to Front Line Blacc News?
Yeah. Well, you guys familiar what happened to Reggie White's church? How Reggie White's church got burned down by white supremacists in 1995.
Oh yeah.
You talking about the White who used to play defensive end?
Yeah, defensive end with the Eagles, Green Bay Packers, and Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I think he retired with Carolina. Yeah. Okay. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm gonna do the closing, Brother Che. Okay, and then so we want to thank everybody for joining us on this air date of May 5th, 2026. Okay, and yeah, Val, you're right. It was on Koval.
Yeah.
But Koval and Flamingo run parallel, but what you would do, you would hit Koval to Flamingo, and then you'll go around the curve, and it'll take you right there to LVB, Las Vegas Boulevard. Yeah. Okay, so we thank everybody for tuning in on season 11, episode 36 of Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced in conjunction with Front Line Blacc News. Okay, we're gonna be doing Front Line Blacc News
right after this.
Okay, right after this. Okay, so then of course I'm gonna make my run to the store, Brother Che. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll give you time to get to the store, Shabaka, because I gotta add some topics to the description.
Yeah.
Okay, and once again, ladies and gentlemen, as you see how we go back and forth, there ain't never a dull moment here.
Never. So thank you.
Okay.
SBE. See, the air date of this program was Negro de Mayo, Cinco de Mayo, 2026.
Yes, sir. It was Cinco de Mayo, 2026.
And I want to say very quickly, it's time to end the government bailouts on big corporations. It's time to bail out American freedmen in the form of limited space.
Hold on, Michael. You know what? You're right about that. Tell you what, Michael. You're a very, very resourceful individual. Man, Brother Che, you want to give Michael a guest host spot on that, man, in the future?
Yeah, in the future, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm talking about within the next, ever how long, or it would take him to do it and let him be the guest host. Now, you do know, Michael, with you being a guest host, you will come on there, you will introduce the subject matter, then you would mention, who's in the studio with you and all that. And what you do is you'll come down here and lay the premise, and then, we interact with it back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense. So kind of like in between, kind of like in football, they have is like a play-by-play analyst and a host. Well, I'm sorry, play-by-play analyst.
Yeah, right.
Talk in the
You're
middle.
going to be the host, and we're going to be the analyst. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And
Like
then
adding
what you
humor
would
to it, in other words.
yeah, and then what you would do is that when we do the episode, you'll be coming out here making an opening statements like I did this evening, just like what Brother Jay is going to do on Front Line Blacc News. You see what I'm saying?
Got it.
Yeah, you see. And so therefore, we anything. Yeah, and if you got any product, yes, sir.
You were breaking up for a second. Now we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we need money, and also and then ever who makes a donation here, whatever that you're trying to market, you're more than welcome to come up here and do it. But we got to keep this platform alive. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So please hit the PayPal.
With us. Shout out to Cow Dog for coming through. Shout out from a different cloth for coming through. Shout out to Sister Val for coming through. Shout out to Cuzzo Black Joe for coming through. Shout out to Michael for coming through. Shout out to you, Rocket, for coming through. Shout out to Fresh Ways for coming through. Shout out to I think that was it.
Okay, and then also too, you can listen to the playback of this episode on the Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced page on Facebook. You can leave some comments up there, but keep in mind we got a wrench on that page, and if you're coming up there with anything derogatory, you will be kicked out. Okay,
right.
Because
go ahead, Simone.
And the air date of this episode is May 5th, 2026.
Yeah. That was Crip Mac. He always says 5-5. Crip. 5-5.
Yeah. Okay, Val. Yeah, thank you for joining us. We'll be on in a few minutes, and then please spread the link, Val. Because we're gonna try to get a full house in there. It's because we got Black family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So just y'all hold y'all horses. We'll be live here shortly in about a half hour or less with Front Line Blacc News season 6, episode 24, part 3 continuation. So we'll see. And so appreciate everybody that came through. I shouted y'all out. I hope anybody that was peeking and not speaking. And see y'all in about 30 minutes or less for Front Line Blacc News.
Yes, sir.
That like and subscribe button on your way out.
Okay, and he says he'd like to know y'all's thoughts on the Lego video.
I was impressed, actually. I covered that on Frontline Blacc News about 2 weeks ago. I think Lisa covered it, and I was impressed with the work that they did and how they depicted everybody.
Okay. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, this is Shabaka Sankari for Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced, May 5th, 2026. Everybody have a nice night. Definitely check us out with Frontline Blacc News. And then also, too, by the way, people who come up there, try to bring some trolls up, because I get a great kick of kicking them out the studio. You know what I'm saying? Bopping them upside the head with the wrench. You know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense?
Yeah, so this is going to conclude season 11, episode 36 of Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced in conjunction with the Frontline Blacc News. Join us in about a half hour for Frontline Blacc News. In the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe to all of our platforms, Frontline Blacc News on YouTube and Facebook, The Revolutionary Agenda on YouTube and Facebook, and Shabaka'S Blacc Experience Enhanced on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So,
yes, sir.
About a half hour for Frontline Blacc News. Peace,
Indeed.
reparations, delineations, and separations, and Black empowerment. Sharon Krumah signing out from the Mile High Income City. Michael signing out from the DMV. And Shabaka signing out from the Sin City. Come on.
And then put them buckets, nuggets.
Gators. That's all you have. Keep the Gators and the Sparks in the bottom of the hole of the shit where they belong.
Okay, and what's the NBA standings on the Lakers?
I think y'all got game 1 tonight.
Okay, yeah. And then LeBron, if you win an NBA championship, go on and retire, brother, and pass the reins on. You know what I'm saying?
OKC tonight, and it looked like OKC whooping y'all behind. So.
Oh shit! It was OKC that shut us out the last 3 fucking times we played the motherfuckers, man, up in the NBA championship.
Yeah, OKC won game 1. Great news. And
what about the Denver Buckets? Where they're at?
We're out of it, Shabaka. Thanks to the punk ass.
Great news, and put them ponies in the barn.
Keep the Broncos at the top of the AFC West, and we're gonna keep you Gators, you so-called pirates, at the bottom of the hole of the shit where y'all belong.
Sir. I've already stated about 1,500 times on social media when it comes to Raiders, leave town or change your fucking name.
And on that note, we out. Peace.
Yes, sir. In the future. Okay.